Good evening, everyone. Welcome to round 6 of the OOR Simrigs.com Sprint Series from Barcelona. This is Split Blue from the Asia Pacific region. I am Sean Muller, and joining me in the box is Sean Bubnow. How are you, Sean?
Very well, Sean, and thank you for the introduction. But not only is there the two superior Seans here tonight, aka you and myself, for lovely Split Blue and a Split Red later on tonight, we also have Sean Brimbleka. How are you, sir?
Sean, I'm doing all right. It's great to be here with Sean and Sean. Just a really strong commentary box this evening for Split Sean. Blue. It's I'm looking forward to seeing some good racing around this interesting track. Maybe some spicy wheeler, like the previous splits. Could be fun.
It is definitely looking that way. The track is currently greasy at the moment, as you can see on the screen, with temperature of 14 degrees, so it's pretty chilly there as well. So 60-minute race tonight, I believe 2 mandatory pit stops. And of course, Split Blue has provided some fantastic racing all season. But the big question is, can anyone catch Mia Rose, who has switched cars as well and has moved across to the McLaren? I think that is the big question. Is qualifying is now underway. We are looking at Ashley Johnson on screen. There is Mia Rose in the nice, beautiful McLaren there. It's a lovely looking livery.
It's quite nice indeed, but yeah, Mia has been the, the pointy end of the field for the entire rounds and season so far to date. So definitely the one to be catching or looking out for on track. I know the McLaren is pretty good here. I have done some laps on myself, nowhere near the speed of the pointy end of the grid here, but let's see if someone can step up to the levels and challenge the McLaren. I know the Ferrari is pretty decent around here, so maybe look out for that.
Definitely the car to beat around Barcelona, at least. It is pretty nice to drive. Driven it for an hour last night. It was a nice race car, good on the tyres. Definitely doesn't mind the interesting weather conditions that were thrown as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be anybody in those Ferraris, like McDonald, Holmes, possibly Scanlon. Those guys will probably be the ones to bring the challenge to Mia Rose, but we all know that Mia Rose is on another planet sometimes, so we'll see what she can pull out this evening.
I believe the terminology is called alien pace.
Aliens. They walk among us.
Yes, definitely walk among us. Definitely not human. As looking at Graham Begg on screen at the moment in the pit fire for Playmate number 2 BMW. Currently 1.2 seconds off the pace as Mia Rose pops in a 1:45.4 for an opening stanza. That is a very quick time early on, but T-Max only 0.015 off, so times are very close up the top. Hopefully we can get a bit of a spicy qualifying session, which should set up a very interesting race.
I think with the fact that the track is still green at the moment, so you've got 10 more minutes before these cars lay down some definitely more speedier times. You'll see Reynolds top the table there in the Nissan Brick, 45.3, 110 up the pace there on Mia. But obviously the track will evolve over the next 10 minutes. As we see a little bit of a yellow flash there, so someone's gone a bit off as we've come through the section. But yeah, Reynolds at the moment, top of the ladder, showing us what we need to do. But yeah, as I said, track evolution will be coming in the next 5 or so laps, I dare say.
I think it's going to be one of those sessions where you're just going to have to be on the track at the right time. Once the track does evolve, it's going to be timing, is going to be absolutely everything here. Mia Rose again there on screen. So a big welcome to all our viewers. Hope you are having a fantastic Thursday evening. Of course, you are watching the Simrigs.com Sprint Series. Massive thank you to our sponsors at Simrigs.com for all your sim racing needs. And make sure you get involved in the conversation. Smash that like button, because I reckon tonight's going to be an absolute rip snort from what I can see. What do you think about that, Sean?
You're referring to me, the good Sean, yes. Yeah.
Of course.
Look, Barcelona for me has a bit of a soft spot. It's a very flowy track in my opinion, and it's quite, I don't mind it to sort of lap around. But when it does come to sort of overtaking, it is quite difficult because you do need to absolutely nail some of the corner exits just to make sure you get an attempt at an overtake. But not the easiest track for overtaking as a general. But hopefully with the possibility of some mixed conditions here, as we see Reynolds almost being a second up on his Delta, is going to put a very potent lap on the board. Yeah, racing could be very spicy.
Such a nice wide turn one, great for activities and going 3 wide and doing all sorts of fun stuff. It's I feel like there's some good opportunities if you do get to go side by side. There's plenty of room to make the move happen. Yeah, it's one of my favorite tracks from old racing games. So getting onto it with the new sim, it's been pretty cool. Up there with Laguna Seca for me. It's probably two of my favorite tracks in this game, just because they've always been my favorites from all the older games as well.
Oh,
Sorry,
I was going to say. I was just going to say that's interesting that you said Laguna Seca, because I'm not a fan of Laguna Seca, never have been. But as we are looking at Joshua Vediger at the moment, currently second in the championship, 0.5, so a good half second up on his quickest time at the moment. So that's going to move him up the order quite substantially in that absolutely gorgeous Coke Zero Porsche as he grabs at that flat six now. So he's gone straight to the, and Mia Rose just goes bang with a 44.040 if you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely showing the speed of the McLaren, and obviously the track is starting to ramp up as well. Appreciato here coming up to being holding 3.5 to 4 tenths up at the moment, so that's going to be a very nice lap. Still 1.4 off the pace of the front runners, but I mean, in a green track, I still think it is believable, or it could even be fast at this point. I'm not sure if it has evolved to that stage yet, but we are seeing some very, very nice laps there. As T-Mac there, sitting only a tenth off the podium in P2, doing very well in the Ferrari. As I said, Ferrari might be the obvious choice for a bit of a challenge here for me.
There's a bit of a race going on here as these guys have all dived out of the pits, and so they're going to be jostling a bit, trying to get track position for a clean lap. Obviously these guys are all at the pointy end, so they're not exactly going to be holding each other up, but they're all pushing hard to try and stay ahead. T-Mac is, he's pushing as hard as he can to keep Mia Rhodes behind.
I don't know whether that's a good way to go about it though. Like, I mean, would you like to try and steal a cheeky toe from Mia there down the straight, or would you like to be the one giving Mia the toe? I mean, you don't want to give. I mean, Mia's fast enough, right? So any advantage you can take away from Mia and give to yourself would be definitely on the cards. As we see Lola Bell here in the Porsche, 9 tenths up, beautiful exit on the final corner, and gaining a little bit extra time as cross the line up into P6. Very nice time, well done. I wish I could go that fast.
Yeah, same here. 44. What's that? As we are looking at T-Mac now, and to answer that question, actually, I think, I'd rather be behind the faster driver. You might just pick up a couple of little tips and tricks and a couple of little sort of places where you can gain a little bit of time, as we're looking here at Saruki at the moment, who's 1.1 up on the fastest time. So this is definitely going to move up the leaderboard. Just going to get through this really tricky section here, as I like to call it the Mickey Mouse section. Absolutely horrible part of the track. This is Europe car and then into the R8cc chicane. Of course, the F1 guys now go straight ahead, as you can see where those bollards are, and they go around that beautiful long sweeping corner. Wish we had that. Kudos, hint, hint. And now 1.4 seconds up, so this lap is improving all the time. This is turning into a very good lap here, and I reckon this is going to go easily into the top 10 maybe. And it does. Oh, 11th, just off, but
just off. That was a great prediction though, Sean. It's so close. It just shows that in these ramping up conditions, it doesn't matter really how quick you are. You just need to be doing a good lap at the right time, because I think the people who are going to be at the pointy end of the grid other than your usual candidates, will be people who are starting right at the end of that timer if they can manage to get over the line with like a second or 2 seconds, something crazy like that to go, and just get to take advantage of the maximum amount of grip that the circuit is going to have for the session.
I always find it quite interesting trying to thread that fine needle of have I got enough fuel? Is there enough time? If I leave now, where's that going to be? Where's that track space? What should I do? It's one of those random games that we like to throw the old RNG dice at and hope we all know what we're doing, but 99 times out of 100 we all massively screw it up. But I'm not as skilled as these faster drivers out here, so they've probably got that timing far more accurate than I have. But as you see on board here with Vertigo in that lovely Porsche, half a second up as it comes out of the second last corner and then into the last corner, loses a little bit on exit, nothing much, and is going to bang right up onto the pole position into a 43.9.
First 43, so Vertigo with the opening salvo here in the final part of qualifying. So that was a really nice lap. Put that together well. Here is Simon Scanlon, currently in 10th position, 0.3 up on his quickest lap. So if he can keep this together through this and gaining definitely as well through campus. That's a great corner. Absolute favourite corner on the track, that one. Love that corner. And we've got to brake nice and straight down into this, the slowest corner on the track. Absolutely cannot stand this corner, especially if you run it too wide. That little ripple strip there, that little sort of silent policeman, as I like to call him, absolutely really can ruin your lap. But this lap is improving all the time. This is a stonking lap.
Yeah, just a bit of comment on that. Coming to that hairpin, you lost delta, but then gained an absolute monumental on the exit, which is what you want. So obviously carried more corner exit speed, which is good. But at the moment, almost 7/10 up on the lap. Going to definitely put him. I'm going to, what was that, P3 potentially? Let's see, one no, P5. I was close, but look at that, P3, 2/10. Then yeah, they're all separated by literally hundredths. As Appreciato here, half a second up and gains a massive amount of time on the exit, second last, up to 8/10. That's an insane gain. Last corner, almost 9/10 up and up into P9. Well done.
That's a great qualifying. I believe that will be our top Pro-Am qualifier so far there from Wilkie Appreciato, who is currently in second in the standings in the Pro-Am category. So that's a really good way to get some solid points here as we are looking at teammate now goes up into third position as Mia Rose now goes to the top. Oh, it's Vertigo there goes back to the top with a 43.8. Oh, this qualifier session is starting to kick off now.
And Holmes just split the two of them, just hiding in between that 0.03 of a second with just a 0.017 behind. It is so tight with the top three. That is crazy consistent between them.
Yeah, 300 separating the top three, and then P4 to P8 is only a 1/10.5 behind them. So I think the top 8 is separated by about 3/10 across the board, which is absolutely nuts.
Or the technical term is sweet bugger all.
Yes.
Blink and you miss it.
So a slightly missed apex, a slightly missed braking marker, and it could be all over. But we've got 2 cameras on at the moment, so we are on board. I believe the Ferrari of Holmes and the Porsche of Vertigo. Vertigo just a little bit of opposite lock there, nicely controlled as well. Porsche things. Tips it in. It's a great corner. Just clips that little inside curve that runs it nice and wide. Still up on best lap, but there's not much in it. So he's going to have to see if we can make up a little bit of time here into this really slow, tricky section. Really important here to just nail your apexes here. Just be nice and precise. Anywhere can make a mistake. Holmes is up as well, so this is going to be really tight at the top. Looking forward to seeing how this plays out. And of course, we've got 27 seconds left, so we'll be close. They might get another run at this as well. So if they don't improve here, Holmes lost a little bit of time there, but Vertigo's up as well. He's 0.16 up, so this might extend his lead at the top of the timesheets. Comes through the final turn now, across the finish line. 0.14 up. This Mia Rose does go to the top, but Vertigo is back on top with a 43.6. That is a fantastic clutch lap there at the end.
Yeah, and I thought he might have had extra fuel for another crack at it, but has decided to pull over instead. So Holmes had enough for this final stint, and this is the last chance that they will have for trying to jump onto the top step, because obviously Mia and Vertigo are in the pits along with T-Mac, and obviously Scania, God, English, I'm excited. Spidey, there you go, I'll go the nickname instead, is also on his last crack, just 2/10 up at the moment, but still in the green delta is what we'd like to see. Can he nail this sector 3? I know I can't, because I don't know many reference points for the braking zone. I think it's all more by feel, but at the moment 2.5 up, slightly losing. But yeah, this is just one of those complicated sections. I think it's just drive-by-wire kind of deal.
You really feel it out. There's no good braking markers at a lot of places in the track, and even when you're driving something like the Ferrari, where you just kind of hope and pray, slam down the gears, and usually you sort it out. Just through the last corner, still going to be an improvement of about 10.
That was a shame. He caught that curb on the inside, the final part of the chicane, and it just bleeded time. That was on for nearly a top 3 result. That was a ripping lap. Bit unfortunate, but 5th position, great starting position. Back here with Holmes now. He's only 0.00, so bugger all. But now coming into the chicane, can he find just a little bit of time to be a little bit more aggressive? Nail an apex, gets a good exit. He's going to build time through this final corner, but it is not going to be enough, I feel, for pole position. Might bump him up 1 position. It does, up to 2nd. So it is, wow, look at the gaps.
By 2/1000ths of a second. Enjoy your P2, Holmes. Well done on the quali.
Well, that was a fantastic qualifying session. So it'll be Vediga from pole, Holmes, Reynolds, Rose, McDonald, Scanlon, Bell, Oliver. Good qualifying there from Paddy Oliver. Johnson, Appreciato, your 10, and just outside the 10 is Lewis, Begg, Sakuri, Sykes, Marsh, Horsburgh, Pethy Bridge, Wood, Perkins, and Fustruck.
Just want to also shout out, I know Oliver's been around here a while, and you definitely know amateur class. I think that red tag is meant to be a silver tag. So just for those that are playing at home, the Porsche of Oliver is not showing the right badge. So that man is far more speedy and skilled than the red badge that is on his car. So just keep that in mind.
Some great liveries here. Let's see. Ooh, I like that McLaren, the mosaic one. That's nice.
Yeah, that works. The colours go. Oh, we're inside a car. Hello, rear wing of the car ahead. But yeah, once again, just a shout out to anyone that actually can do liveries. I mean, I've one far nowhere near the intelligence level to work out how to do them. So I appreciate all the effort that goes into creating these fantastic looking cars and putting the effort in for people like myself that go, I need something that looks super awesome, and then you produce these magnificent things that we get to see on track.
Couldn't agree more. I definitely outsource all mine.
100%. Yeah, it goes to the brain trustees of the livery community. I'm like, excuse me, who wants to do something awesome for me, please? I don't mind that at all, of the 666.
And that, of course, is Mr. Bab, Michael Bab, in the 666 Porsche.
Disappointed in Bab, though. He said he was going to do pit start. So why are you on the grid?
Oh.
I assume he's going to do what I did
he better do
last night. He's not going to hit drive.
He's got 30 seconds to not hit drive.
It's giving me PTSD already.
Yeah, what happened with last night there, Sean? I mean, you did well, and then you decided not to drive.
Well, you know, I just needed to do something for the OOR community, since there was a few people saying that the quali ban should have been reinstated for the second race. So I just, you know, gave them a freebie. In all seriousness, I just got stun locked by the menus, trying to change things a bit too late in the timer. Bit of a rookie mistake, but oh well. It was a fun race coming from the back. Definitely got to do some nice racing through the field, which was fun.
It is quite fun. Like, if you're not so much in the, I guess, the points side of things, and you're just here for enjoying the actual racing, it is quite entertaining to actually sit back further in the grid and try and work your way through every now and then. I mean, it's a different style of racing. It can be good, can also be frustrating, especially on a track like Barcelona. As we said earlier, it is hard to overtake. As it looks like we were missing a car on the grid there, as one is sitting in the pits. Is that the Porsche that's in the pits? I hope
it is.
Hey, he's done his typical Michael Babb strat. Good man, love to see it.
So, as Pete just mentioned there in chat, I was about to mention that as well. We've got a green track to start, which is very interesting. So, an hour race tonight too, mandatory pit stops for tyres, I believe. Of course, big thank you to Simrigs.com for sponsoring the Sprint Series. This is Split Blue Round 6. Of course, you have a OOR Patreon. You do get 5% off from Simrigs.com. And of course, they are very close to opening their big store in Melbourne, which is going to be very cool as well.
Ooh, when?
I'm not sure when and where, but I know it's coming. I've been watching on the socials, so it looks really interesting as well. So I'm definitely going to pop down and try some new gear and probably spend more money than I should.
As I say, I'll be spending money that I don't have, but yes, that sounds like a fantastic thing to do.
Ferox, you'll be getting a 10-second ban in that chat. Thank you.
Oh, people want to talk from SO Racing return. Oh, well, all right, hot tip. you heard it first here, just because I can. I will be returning to sprints probably next season. Confirming car soon and livery in the works. But yeah, that's a little hush hush. Well, not now. It's out there.
Not
Well,
now.
no, you put it out there now.
I mean, you hear nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing is to see here.
Just because we're talking amongst ourselves, you know, nobody's really listening. What cars are you thinking of possibly choosing? What's your top 3 for next season?
Oh god, I haven't gotten that far ahead. Jesus, I'm barely able to think of one car, let alone 3. At the moment, I'm sort of dabbling in the McLaren because that was quite fun at Bathurst. I've been doing some duo series with Crispy Bacon in the Fez. And obviously I had a bit of fun in the Porsche, just from side to side, but maybe those, I don't know, I've got to suss it all out a little bit more yet, but rather back on track here, back into Split Blue. We're coming double file here, coming through the last little chicane. Some people love this section, most people hate it, and they want it to remove and go to that lovely sweeper that the F1s go through, but we're about to go green. I'm going to see what we can do here, and see if the worst Sean can do a curse.
Yep, I'll try my best. So we're just lining up 2x2, driving over those pit lines to avoid the pins, just holding 80k.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Start line. And we are green, and it's a good jump from the Porsche Vertiger. Not to be, not a big surprise. The Porsche is good off that line, and same with the GTR getting in front to P2. Is he gonna go around the back? Oh my gosh, almost 3 wide in the second row there. But they've managed to make it through T1 relatively unscathed. There's a few outliers in the back, but they've made it through all right. As we come into turn 4, the second big braking zone, and everybody's starting to get nicely into single file. Nothing.
Whoa!
Oh, that is a
Jesus.
big send from Grant there. My goodness. And Mia Rose fighting for, I think that's P5 on track currently. There's Scanlon and Layla Bell all over the back. T-Mac trying to go around the outside, giving Holmes a bit of a run at him. It's just all action this first lap. And they managed to make it through all right. Meanwhile, Vertiger's just slowly pulling a little bit of a gap, just letting them fight it out. As Holmes goes for a big dive. Ooh. Oh, we'll see what the stewards have to say about that. I'm sure that people will be calling their numbers after that one. Just got to keep cool and keep on racing though.
Yeah, hour to go. Obviously got a long race, but they've definitely hot onto the collar at the moment, or holding your breath. First overseas, or a bit of a dive up the inside there on T-Mac once again. Has to take a little bit of escape going and cutting the chicane. But yeah, there'll be some numbers definitely called out. I'm glad I'm not in the steward's box tonight. That was my job last night. But yeah, so far so good. Everything is still going green. We haven't needed the use of a safety car, and at this point I don't think it's going to happen, because obviously the track sort of dictates that after the initial, we've got a replay here, what happens coming into that turn 4 braking zone. I think just absolutely misses the idea of where the brakes are, and tries to avoid the contact as much as possible, but unfortunately deletes the car on the way through.
Yeah, definitely. That's cold brakes on a green track with cold tyres. It's just not going to work. You need to brake that a little bit earlier, and just, yeah, BMW not the best car on its brakes either, so it's just a combination of poor factors that led to that. I'm sure there'll be a bit of a slap on the wrist for Grant there, but we will have to see. Obviously there was a couple incidents there, a few big moves being made, so the stewards will be slowly getting through all that, checking the replay, making sure they've got the right guy.
Yeah, certainly. It's been an interesting start so far. We've seen a couple of position swaps, a couple of definitely missed braking markers, but Vertiger's got a nice little lead. He's just built a gap. It looks like Reynolds here is just starting to chop into that gap a little bit. Mia Rose is right on the back of Reynolds here, so I feel like Mia's probably going to sense an opportunity here. If she does see an opening, she will go for the gap, I am sure, here, as the track now has moved too fast. So they'll be starting to feel a bit more grip. I'm starting to feel a little bit more confident in where to place the car and where to sort of brake as well. Again, though, these opening laps super important, just to take a bit of a breath and just have a bit of a think of what you're doing, because as we've seen there's going to be, I reckon, some pretty severe paddlings coming very quickly.
And would you look at that, rain in 30 minutes.
Oh, of course.
Here we go. You wanted some spice. Where's Bender doing his rain dance? That's all you got to ask for. Just, you know, when Bender's out there doing a dance and praying, then the rain does just generally happen. But it's only a little tiny sprinkle so far in the 30-minute mark, so that'll be playing into some drivers' heads at the moment. You know, what do you do with your strat? Because I know Barcelona is a bit nasty on tyres. Oliver's actually got to go stop go 32 there, as we see. He's obviously coming in doing a mandatory, but has decided to speed in the pits. Not ideal. That's going to definitely send him further down the order. Not something you want to tick off early in the day, but we've all been there. We've all done it, unfortunately. But so far, everyone else is doing not too shabby on the track. But here you go. Here's a bit of a question for you. With knowing that you have got that 30-minute shower on the way, what would your strategy be now? Would you hold off to try and go the half hour, then go on to wets, and then see if you need to do a second stint on a wet tyre, or you reckon knock off a mandatory now? What was your idea?
I think that's a very good question. I think it depends on how long that 30 minutes on how long that shower is going to last for. That's the sort of key question. If you've got things like ACC, just actually a little bit, we'll come quickly back to this because this is quite spicy at the moment. As we're on board here with Ashley Johnson, he's got Appreciato and Scanlon in front of him. This is going to 3 wise. He made that move. Oh, look at this stuff. That's a fantastic bit of racing there from Scanlon, Appreciato and Johnson. They sorted that out beautifully through the chicane, and now they'll head down the main straight. That was great stuff. I just keep on board because I was just going to say, because Ashley Johnson looks like he's going to go for a move up the inside here at turn 1, also known as Elf, named after the fuel, of course. And he does that easily. Textbook move, gets it done, closes the door, and then gets on the gas, and he'll now chase after. Ooh, maybe not, because looks like here Appreciato is going to try and fight back, but just loses a little bit of grip there, and Johnson now is off after Scanlon.
Just want to say another shout out too on that same overtaking turn 1. Steve Lewis there got the overtake on Petherbridge on turn 1. Same sort of textbook move, one after another. So Stevie Lewis on the push up as well, up into P9, chasing down Appreciato there. So good overtakes all around. Good solid driving. How you can get that nice close wheel to wheel, door to door action that we all love to see.
Definitely. So back to strat chat. Yeah, I would wait. I'd actually go to the 30 minutes. It fools me. I always tend to fuel quite heavy for the first stint for this exact reason, if weather is coming. But again, it does depend on how long that shower is going to last. If it's going to be like a 10, 15-minute shower, hold out, jump on some wets, and then when you change back from the wets to the slicks, you'll do your 2 mandatories. But we will see. It's going to be an intriguing watch for sure.
I follow your command a little bit there. I always fuel heavier than I expect, just to give me those extra options later on. But you know, a lot of people. Oh, that's a very wide line there as we're on board here with Lewis, watching the back end of. Oh yeah, that's Perkins. So chasing down Steve Lewis here, P8. Oh no, he's Appreciato. He's not around Appreciato. Sorry, I'm wrong. Look at that. Don't know what happened to Appreciato there, but that's another posse in another lap. So well done.
Move for the Pro-Am lead too. It's very exciting. It's good to see the class battles are quite segmented this evening. We've got the top 3 of Silver together and the top 2 of Pro-Am. Just it's all nice and close and easy to keep track of rather than being spread all around the place. It's
actually, Hamster does bring up a good point there in chat. It is a very cold track. So as we know with the cold track, that's
the replay there.
Yeah, it runs wide. Oh,
yeah, nice.
That was close.
Chops the nose off a little bit, but you know, that's fine.
Nothing to see here, play on. So yeah, with a cold track as well, as we know with the cold track, especially in ACC, when it does rain, the track takes forever to dry out. So yeah, good shout there. Maybe come in now, pit for it, get that first mandatory out of the way. But again, 30 minutes wet tyres, that's no issue. Yeah, I think if you're sort of in that 6th, 7th, 8th position, do you roll the dice, and try something a little bit different? Intriguing.
Oh god, that's not an ideal line. That's a car on the grass, and oh dear, there's a bit of sadness. Yeah,
That's a sad
brakes
one.
don't work that great when half your cars are on the grass. Just gonna maybe do a bit of a mean strat here, but I actually wouldn't mind being where T-Mac is right now. I mean, yeah, you're a little bit off the front three, not that big of a deal. The front three are that locked into a battle or thereabouts, being 4/10 apart between first to second, second to third, and we see a real aggressive defensive dive to breaking into turn one there. Better get the hold off Reynolds. If something does go a little bit pear-shaped here, T-Mac is in literally the golden position. All three cars could end up getting taken out if they're not careful. But these three drivers, as we're watching now, are literally the top tier. So, I mean, it's not likely to happen, but you never know.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I mean, this does have a bit of a smell that it's all going to kick off very soon, though, doesn't it? Reynolds
It's in the air, the fumes.
Yep. Reynolds is looking racing. We know Mia's quite racy as well, and we've seen Vettiger be one of the best defenders going around. He knows how to make that Porsche extremely wide. So, really interesting to watch this. This is the kind of racing I absolutely enjoy, when there's a real strategy battle as well as an on-track battle as well. We've got weather on the way. How can you not be excited for this?
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be Reynolds, purely because I am shocking in between two cars. I don't have the skill level to not only attack the car ahead, but defend the car behind. But maybe that's just because the Nissan is wide as hell, which is helping. But to me, I mean, I'm no expert with the tyres or how the Porsche drives and that, but it does look a bit slidey compared to Reynolds and Mir at the moment, which is quite interesting to see. But yeah, I think I'd rather be chasing in Mir's position for these two. But then at the same token, I don't know how you can race and look in your mirrors at the same time. Or you could just do the old JC strategy, going back a bit and just turn your mirror off, I guess.
That's one way. The Porsche definitely loves to chew its rears. Once the rears go on the Porsche, it does turn into a bit of a drift nationals car. But if you Vettiger, a very experienced Porsche operator, he'll know all about that. He'll know how to control that. He'll be playing around with his TC, just trying to manage that rear tyre life. But of course, the GTR, I believe, is not exactly friendly on tyres either.
Sure. And just to interrupt you there, as we probably can guess, there is a DT there on the board for Beg. I dare say it was for that lap one missing of brake marker, and unfortunately taking out Oliver to turn 4. So there is that penalty. The stewards are starting to dish out that. So they're starting to go through those incidents for us.
Here's a replay of that incident, and just, yeah, that was weird. It was just completely missed the braking marker. It was a strange incident for a lap one.
I'm wondering, he's just come into the pits. Maybe he's been done for speeding. That would be even worse if he.
I think the speeding comes up as a stop go.
I know. If you get a small, like if you're a small amount over, it can be a DT, like only a couple kilometers. But yeah, if it obviously you don't have any pop-ups.
So I just saw the rear of the Nissan swerve there, and it looked awesome. I got excited.
I'm just keeping an eye here, because it might be my eyes, but I believe T-Mac is catching here. So this lap's been a bit slow for our front three, and T-Mac's just starting to chip it. Oh, Leo Rose there, way out sideways as well. Great little bit of car control.
I was too worried about the Nissan. I wasn't worried about the McLaren.
They're all just having fun out there, just showing off.
Oh, now Beg's got a stop-go 30 as well as that drive-through. That is salt with more salt and a little bit more.
I dare say, as you was right there, Sean saying you did speed into the pit, so unfortunately trying to serve the DT and the speeds, unfortunately you get the SG.
That is just brutal. It's not going well for Team BMW today. Both Beamers at the back, just having a sad time.
Couldn't happen to a nicer manufacturer. Oops, I said that out there.
I was going to say, we're open comms here.
Oh, look, I'm just not a BMW fan, especially the M4. I'm just not a fan. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a brutal much, to be honest. I don't like the idea of driving what sounds like a vacuum at the best of times. I need something with a bit of, soul attached to it.
Exactly.
ACC's definitely done the BMW dirty in terms of that engine sound, because on other sims. It's got a bit more, you know, turbo noise and flood.
Have you heard it live? It's
A
completely
bit more
different
fun
live.
stuff. Oh yeah, yeah. Live is. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to going to 12 hour next year. That's on the bucket list. Couldn't get there this year, sadly, but next year for sure.
Speaking of live, going back to like the race tonight, going back a bit further in the field as we see, oh, that's a bit of a crisscross, and trying to go around the outside there of Perkins. That's interesting lines, but good to see there's real tight battles across the field. I was just going to point out though, the gap between first and third there coming through that final sector was about 3/10 between all three of them, and T-Mac is under a second now. So that's about to become a four-way battle, as we see Perkins decide, no, not going to be part of this, diving into the pits to tick off a mandatory, but these three, nose to tail, and enter player 4, T-Mac just hovering, lurking, watching, waiting for the opportunity to attack onto this group and see what he can do.
Now, I just had a look at the weather. I've never understood this weather, but that rain thing's disappeared.
I thought it was still there.
It looks like it's disappeared on my end, so keep an eye on that, because that will change the... Yeah, no, it has definitely disappeared. Wow, there we go.
Short shower, you're waiting for that rain to come in and then hop on the wets if it gets wet enough, I guess, and then let those run out of tread and grab some dries for the final sprint to the line. Unless it rains again, which would be absolutely brutal.
It rains with 15 minutes remaining in the race. Oh god, there's a massive nose poke up. Oh, we see Reynolds decide not going to take any part of that, but Mayer has backed out of it potentially. Maybe a misbraked opportunity, and he's going to take advantage of potentially Ashland. Oh, as we see the big drift from the Nissan there. But yeah, that might be interesting to see from a different angle if we get the opportunity. That could have been a miss marker, or even just a chance of the door just closed. Unfortunately, you know, Nissan acceleration versus McLaren. I don't know whether that's a thing, but it sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. Just quick housekeeping. So, Scanlon with a 15-second penalty, and Sykes as well with a 15-second penalty. So, obviously, there are some penalties. Our stewards, who a big thank you to our stewards, tireless workers they are amazing. And of course, a big thank you to the one and only Benjamin Hignett tonight, who is bringing you all these pictures live and exclusive. So massive thank you to all our volunteers, as always, in OOR. But back to this race at hand, as we've got ourselves a replay here, and we're going to have a quick look. So Mia went for the inside, quite a late decision there, tucked it in nicely. Reynolds, I think, saw her coming as well, so just opened the steering a little bit. But that was definitely a show of intent there from Mia Rose. But Reynolds, he's pretty wily old fox, Ashland Reynolds. Saw it coming and knew exactly what to do, and he's back to his status quo.
So you did see the acceleration of that Nissan too. So I mean, I think the line was better. It's obviously that narrower line, you have to make sure you really hold that apex, but otherwise, you know, you can always push a car off track and cop a pen. But yeah, Mia definitely wanting to get past, obviously showing the intent of I might be faster. But yeah, Ashland being the driver that the man is, obviously, as I said, saw it coming. Just opened up the steering a little bit, made sure they were nice and safe, and just used the power of the Nissan to his advantage.
Yeah, it's definitely the McLaren is not bad out of a corner, but yeah, that Nissan's just nothing beats it really. It's just got so much poke. As Vediger is going into the pits. He must be. No, surely he's not running out of fuel.
Could be a tyre thing. Maybe he's doing the typical 20-20-20 strat tonight for the tyres as our new race leader Reynolds takes over. So now this will be interesting because he won't need to worry about the car blocking the view now. So how much more speed does Reynolds have rather than being tucked in behind the Porsche? But Mir now sees clear track ahead of Reynolds as well, going, ooh, now there's my chance to take back that P1 spot. But interesting.
Definitely good for keeping Reynolds' tyres alive now that he's not got the wake of the Porsche to deal with, because he was reasonably close, so it would have had some effect through those low-speed corners. You see him drifting around, but that also could just be the GTR being the GTR and wanting to put all 1,000 horsepower down when tyres just aren't ready.
Are the tyres ever ready for 1,000 horsepower?
I don't think they can be, to be honest. Even though you got sticky Pirelli slicks, it's just not enough.
Now, the other thing to keep an eye on as well, if these two start scrapping, that's going to give Vettiger a bit of a free kick. Was me again. So that's definitely a line thing, 100%.
Yeah.
So Reynolds definitely likes that sort of wider line and then use that stupid acceleration that the GTR has. Just punch out of the corner where me definitely likes to tuck the nose in, really hug that apex. But I feel like these two now just starting to scrap a little bit. T-Mac is just lurking in the background now as Mia says, no, I've had enough of that. And decides to come in. Could see she was losing time, so has decided, no, I'm just going to come in the pits, get out and clear traffic. Now, she might be also trying to cover off Rediger, who came in a lap earlier before that. Now, if he's in clear air, he is going to have to set an absolute Hollywood out lap to keep that position as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's going to be a very close watch, as you can see there in camera too.
Yeah, he is out in the middle of absolute no man's land on track position. As it literally the little dot on our little race map there coming into that real tight left-hand hairpin. There is literally no one around, so he has absolutely the best position to get those tyres into a nice little window, not worrying about anyone else. But jumping on board here with Spidey, sitting there currently at P4, does have that 15-second pen looming over the head. That was for a collision on lap 2. I have sort of sussed out the little Discord there and found out for that. But don't know the actual incident itself, but that's what that was for. But here we go, Vettiger coming around into the last corner now. Probably loving the fact those tyres are brand new, because it looked a bit slidey beforehand, but you know, clear track. Let's see what they can do.
So we're going to keep it as Mia Rose is exiting the pits now, so this is going to be extremely close.
Mia's ahead.
Oh, I think Mia's jumped him. Oh, he's going to try and go around the outside. He thought, he just went a little bit too deep there. I thought he was going to absolutely send it around the outside, but Mia has done the overcut there, so has covered him off beautifully. So now over to you, Reynolds and McDonald.
Yeah, that's a stonking gap to actually to cover up to, because not only was she behind Reynolds before deciding to go an extra lap and then ducking into the pits, but yeah, the fact that she's actually managed to jump, well, both cars technically for track position at the moment, that's actually insane. So yeah, when Reynolds decides, which is actually runs in the pits now, so here's your answer coming in about 40-ish seconds or so.
McDonald as well.
Yeah, we'll soon find out what how this all sits out in the first lot of pit stops.
I was going to say, it's with the track being so cold, you know, the tyre warm up, it takes a little bit longer, so the overcut does have a little bit more potency than it usually would, because you've got those warm tyres up to 10 and you can have a sort of consistent amount of grip, while as the tyres are warming up, like even though they come out of the blankets and they're reasonably warm, it's still just it's a weird feeling bringing them in on the cold track. As they're coming through the last couple of corners, through the last chicane onto the last corner onto the front straight.
Reynolds is moving.
It's gonna be a close one again. Obviously depending on where their pit boxes are, but Reynolds has managed to stay in front of T-Mac. It's very close.
This is going to be extremely close.
I think Reynolds is going to keep it. Wow.
Oh, T-Mac is
T-Mac's jumped.
He's done it. He's got off it. Oh, Mia's going to try and go inside there. Thought about it. Showed the nose. She's got warmer tyres. Reynolds is on super cold rubber. Trying to put down that 65,000 horsepower of the GTR is going to be extremely difficult here. Now down into turn 3 or 4, one of those turns. Turns it in. Oh, I think he's done well here, Reynolds. He's held it off. He's held off that initial fight. Mia maybe have one more shot down into here. Thinks better of it. Showed the nose again, but just pulls the nose back in. Oh, there's slide out. Oh, there's drama. It's kicked off. Oh, dear, oh dear. It's all gone off. Oh, we'll have to get a replay of that, but it looked like there was a slight tap maybe on Reynolds, and Mia just got
I think there was a little tap, and then the McLaren got a bit unsettled. I think T-Mac had nowhere to go under the acceleration of the Ferrari, which is gripped, and actually just hit the rear of Mia there, sending her into the wall, unfortunately. But Vettiger went, thank you very much for double position. As we see the replay, there's been a slight bump there on the Nissan, which caused everyone. Yeah, I think it's just a unfortunate sort of difference of power and grip level through the actual apex of the corner there. But at the end of the day, we've got 3 cars still going forward, so the stewards will have to look at to see if anyone's going to get a naughty stick slapped onto them there. But these still nose to tail on board here with Team Matt. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Absolutely no reaction there. So that's just unfortunate. Some things you just can't avoid.
Definitely, and that's going to have some implications for the championship, because that is P1 and P2 in the championship kind of turned on its head. I have to pull up the live totals because I'm sure.
Oh, sorry to just interrupt. I just saw it then. I flashed up. Rain in 10.
Oh,
Rain is back on the board, people.
there we go. So yes, just to cover that point off that the other Sean made is about the championship as well. So me currently with a 97-point championship lead, but that with Vedica there currently sitting in second position on road as well. This is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out as well. As we're just going to quickly cover off Scatterland, Bab, Pethybridge, Stikes, Fushstrock, Wood yet to stop yet. So we'll keep an eye on that. And a few of those drivers are carrying some invoices as well. Looks like Bab's got himself a 5-second penalty as well. So that might have been for a little naughty. But we'll see how that all plays out. Maybe a couple of these drivers are waiting for that rain. They've saw that pop up and they've decided, you know what, we're going to run a little bit longer here.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the strat is just because it's such a short shower. Like if it's short enough, if it's long enough to get the track properly wet and make it wet optimal, you're gonna have to have another pit stop if you've already taken tires now, because you can't just keep driving wet tires on a dry track. It's no longer the 30 psi strategy.
No, it's come down a bit, hasn't it? I'm not really sure what the strategy is there. But
yeah, they've turned normal pressures back on. They fixed the 30 psi bug, which is good for some, not so good for others. It did make
you could
wet
just
drive.
forget.
Yeah, exactly. Just having a wet set, just set to 30, and it was easy peasy. It did make the 24 hours quite stress-free when it came to wet tires, but yeah, it's back to normal now, aiming for that 30 to 31 psi standard.
But talking
pressure.
about this wet window that we're seeing potentially pop up in the next probably, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. I'm not sure how we gauge time here with the widget. Obviously, we never know how accurate it is. I think at this point, judging by potentially how short the shower is, it's going to be who wants to roll the dice of driving slicks for a bit, just to see if that shower is going to hang around or if it's going to get worse, or whether you will or can drive on a greasy circuit. I think personally for me, if I've already ticked off a mandatory, I'd just be driving until basically the tyres feel absolute garbage through the wet, and then wait for the track to try and start to, I guess, grease up a bit, and then I'll go get a new set and then see how I go. Try not to spend the extra, what is it, about 50-ish seconds or something in the pits with a pit stop for tyres, I think, off the top of my head. So, I don't know, just something to consider.
Also got to be careful not to grab those new tyres too early, because if you're getting graining when the tyres are cold, then you're suffering for the rest of the stint. It's quite a complex race. This little tiny shower, you know, it's only about probably 10-minute shower, has really spiced things up and got probably all of the drivers their little CPUs in the brain, so they've got to worry about racecraft and lines, and now they've got to worry about all the strategy and tire talk, and they'll be thinking in their heads, oh god, what do I do?
Well, I was going to say that's one part of it, and the other part is his track time. So even if it rains just a little bit, it is going to take a while to dry out. So, Vedica there, just see that right out on the slide. Things you love to see in a Porsche. And it is getting darker very quickly here. And to see the lights are just starting to take effect now. So this rain, I feel, is going to come, and it's going to be one of those short, sharp, classic Barcelona-style showers. And then the sun will come out again.
See the Porsche here, they're going to replay it. Oh, look at the massive crossover. Yeah, love this there. The natural territory for the Porsche, as I said. So, you know, that's right in its wheelhouse, right at home where it belongs. But this defending here from Vedica has allowed Reynolds to just go, you know what, thanks for the little slight breather. I've now almost got a second. I can just do my thing. Because as we know, the Nissan just likes to be slideways at all the best times. So, you know, natural territory again. And T-Mac sitting on the rear bumper of Whittaker is going to put the pressure, so he's going to be more in his mirrors, worrying about T-Mac rather than where Reynolds is on track. So yeah, anything can happen in the next 5-10 minutes. It's going to be interesting to see what unfolds.
Just noticed Holmes has got the fastest lap. He's pinched that off Mia Rose, so must have dialed in those pressures. He's getting some good pace out of the car, but just still a little bit back from that fighting pack and trying to get a podium. I mean, they've been fighting hard, those guys, so it's not impossible to think that after the next set of pit stops he might be back in the game, just get a good pit stop in. But it's pretty tight in this top three. This is some of the best racing I've seen, well, that I've commentated in my career, my short career as a commentator. It's great to watch.
Look, I think it's just the Sean thing. We just bring excellence.
Yeah, split Sean.
We should do this every week, guys.
I think so.
No, I'm not doing it next week. I'll be at the F1.
Fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, 100%. I'll forgive you for that one.
Yeah, look, I've got priorities, and I want to be where I can see real race cars rather than pixels. Just putting that out there. But these are definitely something. Not only do I wish I was fast enough to be in these kind of battles, especially up the pointy end, but once you are locked in head to toe, it's literally who breathes first, who makes that first mistake. Is that, cross-lock, or that, the counter steer? Is that enough to get that extra 10th where you're up into that nice slipstream, get that over? It really is where you want to be. It's such a great experience. I mean, that obviously happens all the way through the grid and with the different battles, obviously with classes and all that kind of thing. But oh, that is super close. T-Mac right almost under the bloody rear wing there of the Fez, of the Porsche cars. Yeah, look, I'm getting confused.
That was very close, but T-Mac pulled it up just. I don't know how. I'm going to call this early. I think Bab's going for the high IQ strat here. I think he has seen that weather radar and he is going to run that Porsche as long as possible and try and maybe throw some wets on. Some of these drivers I feel like might stay on slicks for this short shower. If you down the pack a bit, maybe throw a set of wets on. You will gain time. It's really intriguing how this is going to play out, especially with those sort of top two drivers there at the moment, because considering we've just ticked over the halfway mark, so looking forward to seeing how this plays out. Vettiger there had a very interesting line. That's definitely not the optimal line.
So I know this man we see on screen right now always feels heavy. He always feels that extra little bit heavy for things like this. This is what he determines fun for his racing. So the fact that he has gone heavy on fuel, although misses the apex by an absolute country mile, and is off track there, so not sure what happened there. Maybe just a lapse in judgment, or maybe these tyres are absolutely garbage at the 32 minutes they've been on this car at the moment. But he will probably be ducking in maybe next lap. Probably be interesting to see if he does take the wet tyres.
Being a Porsche fan myself, I can guarantee you those tyres are absolutely cooked.
They belong in the bin.
Yep, very much so. Anything after 30 minutes, the Porsche changes. It becomes a slidey beast. Definitely doesn't like anything remotely worn rears at all.
Not sure, Damien. Not sure where the car 600 got wet or dry. Oh, there's the rain. Here is the rain. Who's going to dive in first? We see car 454 in the pit, so Sykes. Hopefully it hasn't come to a stop, so it might be the chance to actually switch over to the wets if they are quick enough, if they haven't already pre-selected it as well. So this is where it's going to be who is brave enough to stay out. We've got showers for the next 10 minutes by the looking at the widget. So somewhere between 10 minutes and 30 minutes remaining, it will clear up. So, there's a big slide there from T-Mac under those real interesting conditions, especially through these big sweeping corners when you're trying to get the power down where they're normally a flat out zone with tyres that aren't quite up to spec on a track that is now going to be slippery and slidey. Not ideal situation.
Definitely, and all those painted surfaces, those curves, they're just going to turn into ice over the next lap or two. Just don't want to touch anything that isn't black and sticky. I think with the Sykes coming in, that is about as perfect timing as you can get. It started spitting and raining as he dived into the pits. It's just perfect. A strategic masterstroke from the AM driver.
I was just going to say the track has gone literally from fast to greasy very quickly.
In half a lap.
Yep. So maybe a little bit early there for Sykes and mine.
I feel us out. Babsy's in the pit.
Babs in. Here we go. This could be the master stroke right here.
Time will tell.
Definitely time will tell. But if he's nailed this, that is an absolute master stroke, and he will fly up that leaderboard. He is carrying a 5-second invoice, but being the conditions the way they are, I don't think it's going to hurt too much. And I'm just looking in the background here. Holmes is catching.
Yeah, I don't think that 5 seconds is actually going to hurt Babs in terms of the fact of how slight it is going to be for those that have already served a pit stop. Have got a strategy that they want to be out there for the next 10 minutes or so if they were going to do that for fuel rise. Which could be interesting if Vetiga, because he did stop at that sort of 20-minute mark. So not sure what's going to be playing in there. Oh, we'll see a little bit of an interesting line there. The car's a bit squirmy. Obviously the TC will be dialed up a bit to help with the wheel spin, but Holmes is catching in here, 1.8 behind. Not bad. Also the control there through the steering wheel, all those inputs. Definitely tricky conditions for the drivers, and as you can tell, they are staying off those ripples where normally in the dry you're trying to munch them up as much as possible to make the quickest way around this track. But back on board here with Johnston here, so in P5, currently P2 in class, doing a mega effort there.
Been a great drive from Johnson. I've always said, if you're not on stream much, normally 9 times out of 10, you're having a pretty good race. And he's got Mia Rose to company, who is all over the back of him. But we know Ashley Johnson, he won't go, oh, please come on through. Definitely not. He will, oh, that's not the optimal line. That's an interesting line. And Mia Rose is going to try and go around the outside here. That is bold in these conditions. Really bold. Can she hold on to it? Oh, I think she's done that. That's a great bit of driving.
Wow.
Wowee. Get around that. But look at Ashley Johnson. He's going to think, oh, no, thinks better off it. Oh, that was a fantastic exchange between two men.
Still going. It's
here we go. Oh, there's a touch.
Wow.
Wowee.
That's some incredible side-to-side through that fast right-hand corner there. Like, I didn't know they could do that, to be honest. I didn't think you could get 2 cars around there at that speed, especially in wet conditions. So hat goes off to both drivers there for absolute mega effort there. And the fact that it still went on like 3 corners later, there's a little bit of contact. Just absolutely fantastic racing to watch.
Let's clarify that, Sean. We can't do that.
Yeah, look, I can. It's really good. I mean, I do it all the time. I mean, I can do that, sure. I mean, I can't prove that I can do it, but I can do it.
Of course.
I'm just going to go ahead and say, if it was wet in my race going around the outside of that corner's been my kryptonite all week. I've not been able to get it down, so that is crazy driving. I would sit in my chair, just puckered up. There's some great car control and some great respect from both of them to get through there unscathed, because that could have been a very big accident very easily. So you hop on board with T-Mac. Oh yeah, track is damp. We'll be getting towards that wet optimum.
I'm gonna just ask the camera gods here. Can we get a confirmation if Babs is on the wet?
Checking.
We are checking. We are currently
checking.
Strategy Ferrari strat. As we see both cars go extremely sliding. Can't help.
He's on wets.
Wet. He's on wets.
Oh, he's on the wets.
Here we go. Big brain strat 101 right here from Bab. This is going to turn into an absolute masterstroke. Talk about absolutely nailing your strategy and just picking the optimum time to come in. And now watch this Porsche absolutely fly.
And not to mention the Porsche and the wet. Oh, like French kiss, perfect combination. Just putting that out there.
Match made in heaven.
I need a moment, gentlemen.
You shall return. We understand. But back up to the pointy end. T-Mac on Holmes. Holmes has really closed up that onto the rear again. I don't even know what the gap is here. Where we know that's T-Mac on Vetiga. Sorry, I am confused once again because I just saw the purple lap of Holmes in my head. But yeah, that gap is still within half a second, which is actually impressive in these conditions. Not sure what the lap time was. I didn't quite get a glimpse of that, but it will be interesting to see the speed difference between those slicks versus the the wet's coming in, but you can just see how much of a hard time these cars are trying to keep from their rears just squirming all over the place here, but just, yeah, absolutely wicked car control.
Yeah, this is just crazy to watch. Yeah, I like the wet, but I like wet with wet tires, not with dry tires. That is some next level to be going as fast as these guys are going and having the dry tires on. It's just, yeah, this is where I'm weakest as a driver, is that wet track on slowly getting wetter when we've got dry tires. They'll be regretting their earlier pit stop though, because they would have wished they could do the same thing as old Babsy's done.
Yeah, well, as we see, Vertigo here was a 52.8, and I believe that T-Mac was a 52.9 for race pace in the wet on the slicks. Not sure what kind of times Babs is putting in just yet, because those wet tyres will still need probably another lap or so to get up into the windows. Still being a damp conditioned track at the moment. Still under rain. It will be clearing up somewhere between the next 5 or so minutes, I dare say, judging by the widget. There is no wind speed though as well. So obviously I dare say it's going to be a pretty horrible racetrack for the rest of the race. So Babs may have actually got the optimal strat here with sticking on the wets.
Well, I agree with that as well. I mean, yeah, no wind. It's coming down absolutely straight, which means there's no wind to dry the track as well. We don't have a lot of cars. We only got 21 cars in the grid as well, so even the cars clearing the track is going to take quite a while as well. So, yeah, it's very suboptimal track conditions, or as I like to call them, perfect track conditions. I love this stuff. This is my favourite time to race. So I'm actually jealous of these guys out there at the moment. So we've just got an update here from our legends in the pit lane. So Bab was closing 1.5 seconds in the last sector on Lewis alone. So that just tells you how quick he is going with those wet tyres on. He's got that beautiful 992 GT3R hooked up, flat six screaming at 9,000 RPM as he heads down the main straight now. As we've got the split cameras here, so you can watch the difference between wet tyres and dry tyres and just see the wheel work and how much speed he can carry through the corners, get on the power nice and early. Look at that, just a little bit of car control there at the X, and you can just see the other Porsche. It is slipping and sliding everywhere. Vertigo has got his hands full. Look at this. Yep, slight correction there, slight correction there.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, sorry to interrupt your
no problem.
But I believe that's a 2 second a lap faster time from Babs to the guys that were watching here, because I think that's a 51.2 from Babs, and that was a 53.9. So that is, yeah, that's the difference in speed at the moment between wet and dry.
That's exactly right. 2 seconds a lap is a huge amount. Now, this is the tricky part. Are these drivers thinking about when's this shower going to clear? Do they want to come in for wets and out, or do they want to just try and hold on? Oh, I don't know. This is one of those ones where you're really unsure. If I'm in these top 3 positions, I'm actually kind of second guessing myself a little bit here.
I think at this point the top 4 are definitely, or probably top 5. Anybody who's done their first stop already, you're kind of a bit pot committed, because if you go for wets, you're gonna have to hop on dries, most likely. So you're gonna, it goes very deep, and it's giving T-Mac a bit of a run. He's having a look, a little sniff, but you're not going to really be able to go around the outside in the rain.
Say that to Mia Rose, I dare you.
True, yes. Granted, that was a little bit drier than it's now.
Oh, round he goes.
No, that is not what you want to see. That is unfortunate. But yeah, back to the strategy chat. Yeah, the if you've got that tire set already done, like that tire stop done, then you don't want to waste another 50 seconds or whatever it is going through the pits and stopping for 30 seconds to get your dry tires again. And you probably don't want to also just commit to wet tires after they've after the rain's dried up and they're just overheating and going to explode. I know it takes a fair bit to make them pop, but you'll be bleeding lap time like no tomorrow.
I'm just going to shout out this battle real quick. I know earlier we said that 1.5 second gap was closing in on Lewis here on Babs, but that was like 7.8 seconds, like 2 laps ago. So he's closed 8 seconds in 2 laps. That Porsche is loving the conditions, and Ferrari is not. But this is looking like it's a four-way battle right now. These 4 cars are all for position. This is Lila Bell, Scanion, Lewis, and Babs. Look out. Here we go.
Babs got to get this done quickly today. He doesn't want to be caught in the 3 cars in front that are on slick tyres trying to battle as well, because this has a little bit of spice.
Around the outside.
Oh, yep, no problem, Bab. Yep, that's how it's done. Look at that. That was a beautiful move. Textbook. Love that stuff.
Wets versus dries right there.
Yep.
He did it before I could say it. Yeah, with those wet tyres, you can just drive around the outside of people because you can use so much more of the track. And that is just it's a perfect example of what I mean. There's some classy driving. So this strategy is kind of pulled Babs out of sort of nowhere, sort of the no man's land of around 10th to 10th, 11th to possibly top 7th.
Sorry to interrupt there. That camera angle looked weird. It looks like it stopped raining from that angle. Thank God we're going back to this angle, which definitely looks like it is raining.
That is a replay.
No, it's a replay. It is a replay.
That's T-Mac getting Vertigo, because Vertigo overshot the braking zone into that hairpin at T10, I think, off the top of my head. So, yeah, switch up for P2.
It has stopped raining.
It has stopped raining.
15 minutes to go, damp track. Do you go for wets again if you haven't stopped? Or do you try and drive in some interesting conditions and see if it starts to go greasy, and then it'll be back to slicks, I dare say, is the optimum at that stage?
I think you're very much locked into the slicks now. I think going wets, 15 minutes to go. Yeah,
sorry, just into it. Scanlon just got a nice exit there and took a lot about. And Babsy's going, thank you as well for opening the door. Almost kills Spidey, goes wide. He's now on the inside for that the crux corner that you hate so much, Sean. But too wide. Are we going to see it here between 2 Porsches? No, nicely done. Babs got done before the bloody apex. Yeah, there we go.
That was very nice. Yeah, those wet tyres made a bit of a meal of it, but just because he's got so much more grip, he's just able to drive around Layla Bell like she's just standing still, which is quite the achievement. Layla Bell's definitely no slowpoke.
Listen down the bottom there. So Saruki, Horsburgh, and Marsh have all completed their mandatories, and so is Perkins as well. So Perkins is the first one to complete all mandatory stops. So we'll just keep a little watch on Perkins there, just to see how far he can move his way up the leaderboard, as we are back with this battle up the front. So it is Reynolds is in. Reynolds, Rose, and Johnson are in.
Oh, there we go. There's the front 3. I think you're definitely going to have to try and... I don't know. I'm really struggling to say whether it'd be best to stick on the wets now because it's still damp, or whether you go dry. I mean, you can drive the wets when it does get dry. They just get real spicy and you just slide a little bit. But would that be better to be faster for the first sort of like 2-3 laps and then deal with, you know, blistering horrible tires, or do you drive with dries and have raining and sliding the entire time? I don't know. No idea. Above my pay grade.
I'll definitely say the dries. We're starting to see the early remnants of a dry line on some of the track, so it's only going to improve from here. If you get some new dries, crank those pressures up a bit, just so that they're, you know, somewhat in the pressure window, I guess. Probably be able to. Probably not going to avoid graining, but you'll be definitely a lot quicker than wet tyres right now. And Holmes is caught right onto the back of Vertigo. Oh, as he comes into the pits, does Holmes follow him? Yes, he does.
Right.
So that's P3 and P4 in the pits.
I'm on the entry there too, but look at it.
I'm not sure about T-Mac's strategy here. I don't know, maybe going a little too long for my liking, because that sun's already out. The sun has already come out. So I did say that typical Barcelona, you can get a short, sharp shower and the sun will just pop out straight away. Always does around here. So Reynolds, first one, completed all mandatories. Mia Rose has completed all her mandatories. Johnson has completed all the mandatories. So there are sort of 3 that we're going to keep an eye on and just see where they pop out as... Oh, Benjamin Higgins.
Hello, ACC.
Decided he's just going to check his steam, see if it's working. So looking at Reynolds here, I tell you what, the GTR in this condition on slicks would not be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but the man just knows how to drive the car no
It's
matter
true.
what condition it is or what track. I mean, I think he is a Nissan. Like, the amount of times I've seen... Actually, has anyone seen Reynolds in any other car other than the Nissan?
I haven't. No.
Anyone in the chat?
Yeah, anyway, so he is judged ready to beat time. He's got himself an absolute stonking lead here. He's going to be very hard to catch from here, Reynolds.
Yeah, I think the fact that was it Vidiga and Holmes, and also T-Mac sort of had that little collision with Mia earlier as well, allowed Reynolds to just sneak off into the distance there. What was that, about 10 laps ago or something like that off the top of our heads? But that definitely allowed him just to sort of have that breathing space and get the lines in and bring it in the way. So you see T-Mac dive into the pits, squirms it across the line, gains. Actually, that's not a bad entry. I mean, that's about 10 times better than I can do. That's also what Babs ahead of him, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
I
that
am
might have
mistaken.
been that's Sykes.
Yes, science.
It is Sykes. But yeah, that was an aggressive entry. He's obviously got to hustle into the pits because he's got Holmes and Vediger back out on track. I don't think he's going to jump Reynolds because Reynolds has just got such a big lead. Bell having to check up there as Lawrence is parked on the apex and he's lost 2 positions out of that one. I wonder if maybe he's on the wet tyres?
We just saw ahead of him that Bab came in. That would look like a late decision there from Bab as well. I was like, oh, I better go in.
Well, it has gone greasy, so there is that dry line forming. So slicks now would be the way to go. As you can see, that dry line is definitely out there. So you probably have a few moments in some corners where you probably have those little puddles that we love to experience oh so much, that cause you to literally rip the race chair that you're in at the time. But we see what is that T-Mac, is it? In the pits, Vidiga.
It is T-Mac.
It's going to be
Oh,
close.
it's going to be close. I think Vidiga might have the speed though. Or side by side in turn 1.
Oh!
Was there a touch there?
That was
That was
extremely close.
so close, yeah. I don't know if there was a touch there. We'll have to see a replay of that, but
Definitely
currently,
a brown flag moment though.
definitely brown flag moment. Yeah, T-Mac has managed to hold on to provisional P2. Oh, goes deep into the brakes, just feeling out the grip there. And Vediger's right back in it. Ooh, that looks like the tiniest of touches, I reckon. Just a tiny one. Obviously not a penalty, but it could have been a lot worse.
Just a
Let's-
little kiss.
Yeah,
I was going to go brush. Just a brush.
Little kiss.
Just I'm still here, so you can't really have that. But I'm just here. Just go over there for me. Thanks very much, and off we go. So yeah, there's only 8 minutes, or just over 8 minutes remaining in the race. So there's still plenty of time for the potential of overtakes. Obviously, Vediga here definitely going to have the red eyes locked on, and there's a interesting camera to it. This slightest
There is a
tap.
touch.
But I mean, yeah, that's definitely nothing to write home to your mum about, but it is what it is as we move forward throughout the race. Vediga though will be blinders on, only one goal and target ahead, and that is T-Mac.
I mean, it's an interesting one because Vediga was ahead. I mean, yeah, I know if I was driving, I'd definitely call my number out. Mainly just that, let the stewards have a look. It's always nice to have a look as we are looking at Pathy Bridge here in Do It for the Do. Big fan of this one. Mountain Dew Porsche. Who doesn't love a bit of Dew? Of course, if you're a 90s kid like me who grew up in Australia when the Dew was popular. Of course, Diet Dew as well, which is absolutely huge in America, by the way. Just a side note there. As Spidey here at the moment, Scanlon, who's in a real, let's call it a fisticuff blood fight here with Bab and Perkins ahead, and Scanlon's going to try and do something that is normally not very recommended and try to go the outside of turn 1. Is he going to hold on to that? Because if he holds on to that, that is a...
contact.
Oh, there was a contact though. Bit of a touch. So I think he'll roll out of that and give that one back to Bab. And he does that. That's actually pretty good sportsmanship. Love seeing that. And that's not optimal. The track is on the inside of the white line, just letting everyone know. As Bad goes way too deep into that corner and just pulls it up, and then Scanlon just saw a bit of an opportunity. He's going to try and go around the outside again. And all the while this is going on, in the background there is, I believe that's Lewis, just sitting there waiting for an opportunity to pick up the scraps.
It's always sort of like your heart in your mouth sort of thing, your stomach, you know, not sitting too well. Your butterflies kick in when you are sort of locked into these kind of battles. But you know, this is what we all love to see. It's what we like to be in. As Bab's got a wicked exit there. Actually, he's going to go around the outside and get the overtake done going there. Spidey's going to try and follow suit, and I have to leave it be. Oh, that's a very wide line by the Porsche. But also back on the up the front there, we see the battle is, he's going around the outside turn one. Oh my god.
Wow.
No.
Oh,
Contact.
No room there. No room. No quarter given by T-Mac. That's gonna be a number called because he's lost a position out of that one. Oh my gosh, there's racing everywhere. There's too much going on. How are we supposed to keep track of all of this? It's epic.
Yeah, we're keeping track because Ben has like a supercomputer with 42 cameras. So yeah, thanks for making your CPU sit at constantly 100%.
This is, yeah, I must say that some of the camera angles that Ben's been putting out this evening have been A class. It's just awesome. Really good work. Really appreciate it.
This is great stuff. So I was just going to mention it before Holmes had that moment. He was catching big time. He actually got past Fediger. So he's had a really good run. I mean, that's what happens when you do run the greatest racing number of all time. Only legends run the 24. And he's currently in 4th position, top of silver class. So this has been a huge drive here from Joshua Holmes. But can he get on that podium? That's the big question. Can he mount another attack? As we've got a replay here. So he tried to go on the outside of T-Mac and looked like he got it done. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I'm not... I haven't got the steward's hat on tonight, but I think the standard would be room needs to be had or left. But yeah, look, without other proper angles, I only can speculate, but that would definitely be getting looked at by the stewards, I dare say.
Definitely, and this battle pack is so tight. There could be, any penalties would have a big effect on who finishes P2, basically, unless T-Mac can manage to pull out 10-second gap, he's the one to get it, or if it might just put Josh's podium hopes to bed if he manages to pick up one. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see what the stewards come up with, because they've definitely been a bit busy tonight.
We've got down there in camera too, that fantastic battle down there in 9th and 8th position. So that's raging on as well, but just saw Vediger there. He looks like he is struggling a little bit. The track is still greasy, so it definitely hasn't gripped up quickly at all. So there's definitely no, let's be honest, there's absolutely sweet bugger all grip out there. As Vediger again has another moment in the Porsche, and that's going to give Holmes a bit of a sniff here. Now, if he can get through Campso nicely, and he does, runs it a little wide. You don't want to run it too wide. He's probably not close enough to fire it down the inside. But he's just got to keep it nice and close and maybe use that power of the Ferrari down the straight and see if he can overtake the Porsche. As always, the Porsche is not the quickest in-game in real life. In real life, it's an absolute jet. But just got to make sure you keep it nice and close now through this Mickey Mouse section. Clip the apexes, just get a nice drive out of that final corner and see if we can set it up for another opportunity there at turn 1.
Just wondering if Vic has maybe mucked up his tyre pressure calculation or something like that, because he seems off the pace and it's very out of character for him. So maybe something's gone wrong there in the pit stop, just clipped the wrong slider the wrong way, or taking a bit too much air out of the tyres, who knows.
Hard to say. It is difficult too with it. I mean, obviously light fuel, because in the end of the race you're dying sort of minutes. You've got tricky track conditions, obviously getting greasy. The slicks are technically. I know the Porsche doesn't exactly like light fuel in tricky conditions, and the track has just ticked on to fast. So we've got 2 laps basically to go under fast conditions. So yeah, I think the guys that if you were staying on the wets, I should say, would be sort of hating life now, but as you see, we've got two fantastic. Oh God, we have seen a Vediga 15-second pen.
Wow, there you
There
go.
you go.
And T-Mac.
And T-Mac as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Oh, wow.
That's huge.
that is humongous.
That is pretty much gifted Holmes there a podium. So he, based on, unless something absolutely outlandish happens in the next couple of laps, that's going to pop him on the podium, and that'll pop him into second position. So, wowee, that has changed the total complexion of this race. We did say that they would be looked at, but that is, yeah, wow, there you go.
It's
The Squids have found you both naughty.
it's super tight. Now, I can't tell just with the feed. I think that's a 5-second finish.
Yeah, 5 seconds for T-Mac and 15 for Vediga.
Yeah, so yeah, no, I was misreading the numbers. Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, there is a chance if Vedica keeps Holmes at bay, he could gift P2 on track to T-Mac, but I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens over the next lap.
Well, that's going to bump Mia Rose up the order as well. Definitely, because 15 seconds, I believe. I'm not Mass is my strongest suit, but it looks like she's around 8 seconds behind Vediga. So that will bump her up a position as well, which will help her championship charge. That's going to hurt Vediga's championship, though. That's
Massively.
yeah,
Massively.
definitely. He was looking good to actually gain some points there, but he's actually looks like he's going to lose points to Mia Rose now. So the sim racing gods giveth, the sim racing gods taketh. As we're looking at this battle between Scanlon and Bab, and this is still going.
This has been going for literally the length of the race. It's once again masterclass effort from two really good drivers on the track, so it's good to see. But obviously this is the dying laps. You've got what, about 7 corners to go, Spidey, to try and get the job done on the Porsche of Babs. Currently sitting P7, so that's a nice little battle there for Bin Chicken Racing here versus Spidey. I think he'll be pretty happy from starting from pits up into the top 10. That's pretty good effort. Got the strat absolutely nailed, I think.
Definitely, I think that's put him in the conversation for driver of the day. But I think we need to give a little bit of a shout out to this gentleman right here. Reynolds has absolutely dominated. It's been a masterclass in the big GTR, and he has, let's be honest, brained them. What a fantastic drive from Reynolds. McDonald does cross the line in second, but that will be taken away. Vediga in third, but that will not stand as well. So Holmes, based on what I can see, he's going to finish in second position, which has been a fantastic drive as this battle is raging on again between Scanlon and Bab. Scanlon definitely wants to get this done, but can Bab hold on? He's just got the final chicane to go. He's just got to clip both apexes absolutely perfectly. Get that flat six nailed to the ground as the Porsche does, and does what it does best, rear traction, and fires it out of the final corner and will hold on. What a fantastic drive there from Bab. Nailed the strategy. Scanlon, fantastic drive as well. And I believe that is Layla Bell crossing the line there in that Grello-inspired livery. And I didn't see that car, I'm going to be honest. My eyes are too old for that.
I think that was Lewis.
We'll go with that.
Lewis, yeah, let's go with Lewis. Why not?
Let's go with Lewis. And that's your top 10 for this race. What a crazy race this was.
That was crazy. I was intrigued. That had a bit of everything. That was great to watch. I was looking here at Lee Perkins, who's got a
around the outside Lambo.
I don't think that's her position, though.
Still pretty cool to move.
Hey, don't take away from the cool factor, all right?
Definitely style points there.
Well, for those that said Barcelona doesn't produce decent racing, I say look at your split you just watched, because that was absolutely phenomenal. So as we're going to go into the final results of the round, for the overall win, we have, thank you for the right one, I was about to say something wrong. As Reynolds takes the win, followed by Holmes getting that P2 thanks to some penalties. T-Mac getting the final step of the podium. Silver class, we have nothing at the moment because you haven't clicked on silver class. Holmes takes the win. Johnson P2. Bab P3 from the pit start. Well done. Pro-Am Lewis, Appreciator, and Horsburgh. And for the AMs, Sykes, Fristruck, and Paddy Oliver does not belong there because, well, you know, he's silver. So that is Split Blue or Split Sean. I had awesome fun watching that, guys, and commentating top racing.
That was an absolute blast. Driver of the day, I think, Mr. Bab, for the ultimate high IQ strategy player, and a special shout out to Holmes as well. I thought he drove a fantastic race. To finish second on this grid is a great drive. Hashtag 24 for the win. Love it. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Holmes was definitely my driver of the day. That was a really classy drive, and definitely Babs an honourable mention. Starting from the pits, doing the patented Sean Brimblecombe Barcelona strat. He just made it work a bit better than I could yesterday. That's mega.
Yeah,
Excellent.
top efforts all round to those that deserve it, especially to the podium sitters. Obviously, once again, the masterclass put out from Reynolds, definitely shout out to me. I've been not trying to take away from any other drivers, but if you can hold off or sit in between two cars for literally 40 minutes of a race and then slowly pull away, yeah, no, definitely up there with one of the best drivers I've seen in a long time.
Awesome. Definitely. Well, I think we are having a break now. So pop off, grab yourself a beverage and a snack because we're back for the one and only Split Blood.
Righto, welcome back to night 2 of Asia Pacific Racing here at Barcelona. We are back for split red qualifying. Myself in the com box for this split with Mr. Brad Gosling and Neil Haynes. It's going to be an interesting second split here tonight, because if Split Blue went the way it did, and if it goes the same here, it's going to be one interesting race.
Yes, heard there was a few little spicy moments, some good little battle packs, especially getting to the back end of the race in the first one. Weather also playing into it, like we love that the OOR weather gods can throw in a few little spicy curveballs with a bit of rain or a bit of sunshine or a bit of hot and then a bit of cold. It's great to see, a few little extra bits and pieces to keep it very interesting. Not that the racing itself is not interesting. It definitely adding a few extra curveballs just really brings to light a lot of the drivers and seeing how well they can manage. Like very similar to how we had it last week. It's like, do you go wets? Do you go dries? It's great to try and see a bit of the psyche into how a lot of these drivers kind of react to a lot of that. So really looking forward to seeing how tonight goes compared.
Yeah, Barcelona is always a pretty exciting track just generally. I think driving as well. A lot of opportunities to overtake and obviously cars to be able to defend the positions as well. So, it should be a really good night just to see how this Split Red steps up to the challenge tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to it. As we just coming into the first starts of qualifications, obviously first lap out, so this is now where the guys will start to get a little bit of temperature in the tyres, in the brakes, and we start to see some laps coming up on the left hand side of the screen. Obviously nothing at the moment until we kind of see this lap out. And Mia, what kind of times do you reckon that we should be looking for of all of these drivers?
Well, autumn track 14 degrees. I would love to see one of these JP people popping into the mid to low 43s, but the McLaren seems to have a straight line deficit here. It's not the OP car, as some might like to call it. So it's going to be a mid to high 43. If you're very lucky, a low 43. But I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to put my money on Mr. Shady Samuel getting pole here, because he's been quick. He's had a couple of off weeks, but I hope that with this track being an absolute amazing track for the Ferrari, he comes in when he needs it the most and gets a pole.
Yeah, that's it. Getting to the well and truly the pointy end of the season here now, with only a couple of races to go. It's definitely, if you're ever going to shine, this is definitely the time where you want to really kind of start to shine. I have seen some pretty good times coming out of the Ferraris. I don't know if it's just that the track is kind of really well suited in those kind of medium speed corners, that they just really do well with the balance and being able to get the power down, because we all know the Ferraris you just stomp it and they just seem to go so well out of corners, really getting power down. Do you reckon, like you were saying that the McLaren seem to have a bit of a deficit going down the main straight? You reckon that the Ferraris do have just that little bit of an edge on a track like Barcelona?
Well, going off the first race and a few other races I've done this week, it is in the slipstream of the McLaren. The Ferrari, being at least 3/10 back, will pass you if they've got the correct setup on. I had it once there with Mr. Joshua Holmes in that first split. He didn't really catch. He probably had a bit more wing, but if you had a bit of a lower wing on the Ferrari, you would probably have a great straight line speed and overtake anyone if you want to. But with there being Mr. Sisselwaite in the Nissan, I would probably say you have to expect some sort of rocket under that car, because out of the chicane onto the front straight, that car had an absolute gospel in it, because it always heading away no matter what. So, but it'll be interesting to see where he goes, because being a silver driver, probably not going to rank as high, but it might help him in battles during tonight.
Yep, and I think a lot of that will definitely play into it. So Barcelona, I've found, has got some. If you're definitely placing your car right, there's definitely a few spots that you can create some good overtaking opportunities. you know, coming out of turn 3 towards that kind of the long, it's not even, you couldn't even really call it a hairpin, but that long kind of sweeping 180 degree into that turn 4, you know, getting some good power out there. You know, there's small opportunities between turn 4, turn 5, and then coming down towards that kind of half back straight in the hairpin. Like, there's a few little spots that if you can get really good traction, that can create for some good possibilities for some overtaking. And definitely any of the cars that can really get the hustle on with some good power down, push out, I think will really benefit for the, not so much the qualifying side, but definitely the battle packs as they will happen through the night as well. I think anyone that can get really good power down out of a couple of these kind of mid-sweeping corners like here as we are on board Sweet at the moment. So yeah, I think we should see some exciting racing.
So you've obviously Corey was the race winner, I think, for the first race at Paul Ricard last week. Obviously had a shocker in the second race, I think it was. So Shady Samuel, as you said, so the two Ferraris are doing a good job. And then you've got some McLaren, so it does look like these sleek little cars like Ferrari and McLaren are the car to be in here in Barcelona tonight.
Yeah, also interesting. I sort of went a bit under our my lap time prediction. They are doing 40 high to mid 42s. Sweet goes pole, Seng beats him. So, you know, you can't. I didn't mention Seng because I forgot he was here tonight. But you never can discount out someone as quick as him. And even if he isn't a BMW, this car can be competitive here in Barcelona. I think I remember it's actually on par with pace off LFM Bop to the McLaren. But when you've got someone really quick in it, doesn't matter what the Bop is, you'll be beating absolutely anyone you want.
Yeah.
The BMW almost looks out of place up the top there, but if you've been tuning into Split Red, it's not out of place at all. It's always up the top, but yeah, you can. It's obviously a little bit bigger car than the other cars behind him. As you can see, the sleek-looking McLaren of Johnson.
Getting a little bit excited getting onto the power there too, wasn't he?
Yeah, sure was, and we are excited that in the last few rounds as well, the Johnson crew, we've been having some fun with those two guys.
Yeah, sure have.
You can see here, my guess on the McLaren not being strong here is correct. Even though they're filling up, basically they're nearly the most dominant car in the top 10. You know, you've got 44. That would be John Sonicus, or is that JP? I forget which one runs what number, but nearly half a second off. Okay, it is JP. You know, nearly half a second off, basically pole, and about 4/10 off Ferrari. So that's how, you know, sort of mediocre this car is here. It's probably one of its worst tracks in the season. So I think for these McLaren boys, it'll be a points exercise more than a trying to win the race.
But it seems like they all just stay out on track for this qualifying. They don't seem to come back in the pits and reset to go out again there. It's best just obviously to stay out, keep those tyres in that good operating window, I guess, as the fuel starts to drop a little bit.
Well, it's a 15-minute qualifying, so in my honest opinion, it's it's too long to do make it one full stint. That's the thing about these tyres, you know, even when the temp is low, they still, you know, best lap out of lap 4 or lap 5, and that's it. You know, if you're able to, you know, let people like, oh, but you get a better lap later on in a 15-minute qualifying. Yeah, that's because you're dropping fuel. So if you got half that fuel though, you know, you were bound to, you know, basically your lap 4 in this session compared to lap 8, you're going to have half the fuel. So you're going to be a lighter car, quicker car. So as you can see here, JP has decided to probably go out for another stint here. He's realised what I said. Jump back in get a new set of tyres and go out again. And speaking of top speed,
the Lexus, but yeah, he's probably got one ear in the comms there, Mia. So exactly, takes it straight into the pits and decides, oh, I'm going to take Mia's word of advice there and get in for a second stint. as we've got Graham Hill and also Stick of Death barracking for the BMW and the Aston respectively as well. So Stick of Death loves the big V12 of the Aston, but I believe this one is it's only probably the V8 that's out there if it is on circuit. But
yeah, I think the just the normal sprints they're running the V8s, and they bring the V12s in on some of the special occasions with some of the bigger enduros when they have the extra cars come in, and it's fascinating to hear the old Aston V12 scream. Oh, it's there's definitely nothing else that sounds like it. But yes,
it's a top sounding car.
So good. But it is like, it's amazing the technology that comes out just over the years and generations with diffusers and balance and so many different things that eventually just little evolutions of things that can just build up on the technology that makes cars as quick and as fantastic as they are to drive today.
Yeah, might cut you off there, Brett, because obviously Samuel Shady here at the moment. He's on a lap. He may not be enough to put it on pole, but he's trying to see if he can get on the front row. Gained a lot of time through the chicane there, but just washing off a bit of pace as he hits the straight now. I don't think it's going to be enough, Mia, here. He'll probably stay in third, but he's going to reduce that gap now.
Yeah, well, the thing in that as well is that we see here Seng's on a second run. I'd probably say his second or third lap again validates, but he was tenths and a half down anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're still at 2.5 minutes, so everyone probably that's in the last sector now, they'll have next lap plus one more to set a lap. We see Book of a Series in front of that queue, about to come on, probably start their second last lap. He's actually nearly half a second up. It's going to put him up the field a bit from P9 to P5. Wow, even within the realm of the McLarens. If I told you the Ferrari wasn't quick and you didn't like that, then I think that's probably proved my point.
Yeah, it looks like Buskova's actually just pulled over too, so he's happy with that time. He probably doesn't think he can do any better, or maybe he was low on fuel, so he's back in the pits.
Yeah, I think I'd be proud with that time too. You're 7/10 off when you're in a Pro Am P5. You're done pretty well. And we see here Sweets starting his last lap, so I think he's the last car on across the line to get a lap in here. So this will be his last lap, maybe one more if he's lucky. I think it was probably one more behind him that got through, but I think they got through just before the 140 minute mark to get a second lap after this one. So this is now battle for pole position. Sang, Sweet, Samuel, BMW, 2 Ferraris. You can see Samuel is about to come across the line. He will get one more lap in. He's not even on his time, about 4 hundredths off, sorry, there, confused me for a sec, but back to Sweet, he's nearly a tenth up, losing a bit of time on the exit of 5, into 6, 7.
Car off in
gained
front.
He gained it, then lost it. He lost all of the time he just gained. Now in the back straight, no curb there on the inside. He will gain some more time here. Hard on the brakes for the hairpin. Gained on exit, going to lose. Oh, sorry, gained on apex, lose on exit. He's going to lose a lot of time on exit.
Hasn't he?
Yeah, probably really too deep, but obviously by gaining so much time.
Yeah, both of these guys are not on great laps, so they seem to have a great chicane. He's green out of the chicane he is too. That looks like less than a tenth, but I don't think he'll get that time to the line. No, he won't. Here we go, this is the last lap for both Sang and Sweet. We've got the 113 there behind, he's just going to cross and that'll be it. So these are the last 3 cars to set a lap in qualifying. Shady's 2 tenths up, he was, and he's going to lose all of it on exit. I think that's the Delta playing with us.
Yeah.
Loses a bit more through the next corner. He's going to get into the last 3 corners here. He's going to hope that he can pull some time out. He's about 300s up, loses a bit to the entry of chicane. He's going to get a good exit here. He's a bit wide of the apex there. He's going to go wide as well out of the exit.
Yeah,
He
and
won't
then he's...
improve. Oh, his saying was up and he lost it. He's going to call it. That's
So I
fair.
wonder what Corey's got for us. It's like a top 10 shootout now.
Oh, here we
Up.
go. He's a 10th up. But he's got to keep that. We know his second part of the lap here wasn't that flash last lap. Gains. Oh, sort of even on exit. He does gain anyways. Oh, beautiful line there. Beautiful line there. He's a 10th to it's 1200s up. If he's lucky, this could be pole. Don't go too deep into here. Perfect on the money. Not on exit. On the money perfectly. Looks like gains half a 10th. Now the last part of the track here, he's got to be not wide. Perfect on throttle. Still a 10th and a half up here. He's on for pole at the moment. He's going to gain a little bit, tiny bit. Loses the rear there through the corner. Now to the chicane. Now the Delta will play with us here. Will he gain anything? No, he won't. He will lose a tiny bit, but I think he's going to lose pole here. He's not up enough, so Sang's going to get pole, but Will, sweet. Oh,
that was so
Not
close.
much in it at all.
we would
What a run.
love to see that gap, but there you go. Sang on pole, sweet second, Samuel third. That
And
was a qualifying session right there.
Oh, wasn't it? Who would have thought that even a 42.6 would not get you on the front row? Like, that's crazy.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
from
pace
Shady
of these
Samuel.
are pretty good. Here we go for the grid walk, guys.
Go for it again, Mia.
Oh, I don't have this thing up, so I'm not really going to shout names out here, but the
The
track
red car, the black car,
Yeah.
the red car.
The purple car, the blue car, the white car. Yeah, I'm looking at the track at the moment, and that looks like a damp track. So I want. There's no raining, so I wonder what the forecast is going to look
It is
like.
damp.
So it's cloudy for the first half of this race, but this is going to be a very difficult sort of first stint for these drivers because this track probably won't dry up quickly. You know, going back to Split Blue earlier, it took us 15 minutes to go from damp to a fast track. So this is going to be a very, very tedious first lap or two here.
Yeah, so we're back to also a 60-minute race, so not the two sprint races like we had last week at Paul Ricard. So, and two mandatory stops. So again, split it right in two. It was the go. I missed the in Split Blue, but how did everyone go in Split Blue, Mel? Was it
well, my
20,
plan
20?
was 3 20-minute races. Some went long in the first stint, hoping for rain, which we did, but I don't think anyone who did that strategy was up the front. So, but yeah, most of us up the front were a split the race into threes and then hope for the best.
There's a big Bentley at the back of the grid too. It looks good. Hopefully we see some of the Bentley during this race. I'm sure there's some Bentley fans on watching the stream, watching the coverage tonight. Give us a shout out.
Couple on there by the look of our man behind the camera, Ben, showing that there's obviously a few people out there cheering on, waving the Bentley flag.
Probably not as excited as that green flag just in the foreground here.
Hey.
So Sang again on pole. This man just loves the front row. There's not many races that we have not seen him start on the front row. Been a dominant driver through the series. But will we see sweet Corey show some Ferrari magic?
You could say that Singh is sort of replicating what I did 2 seasons back, just dominating a split in BMW. So, you know, I mean, BMW's a silent killer, people think, but as we all roll off the grid now, so this is going to be, oh, that looks very damp. That doesn't look like a low damp track. It's going to take even longer to dry up.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like there's much wind either to speak of to help dry the track in any way either. So, and the cloudy skies isn't going to help either. So, we'll wait and see how the guys go. But as you can see, there is a little bit of puddles around the outside there. You don't want to be caught out there at the start of the race, 2 or 3 wide. You could end up looping it around there if we're not careful.
Yeah. You reckon, I was going to say, you reckon we could get the HUD up to see if we can see what a few of these guys, I think, whoa,
around on the
a
grass,
little bit
doing
wide on the warm-up of the tyres.
maybe doing an iRacing trick and keeping the tyre wear on the grass, okay?
What have we got? So we've got some dries there. Sonicus, JP, going dries. Dries near the front. Dries. Not that, not that we would all guarantee that it's all bang on, but interesting to see whether or not they may have. But definitely looking like everyone's expecting to see a dry line in the shortish future. I don't know how many of these guys were watching Split Blue earlier with the amount of time that it did take for it to start to get a bit of a dry line and then rain. But yes, this will make for some very skittish first few laps, I would dare say. Very skittish.
I think Mia was saying that Paul Ricardo, can't we look at the sidewall of the tyres to decide if they're on wets? If the wets are all black or something?
Probably the best way to look at it is look at the chase cam and look at their rear tyres. But we're coming around here to the last chicane, so probably have a look at it after the first lap, or if someone decides to pull all the way out to the front, it's going to be the best way you can tell with the amount of grip they do have over everyone else. So here we go. We come out the chicane to the last corner. Sanger's got the lead of the field. Sweet will have to hope that he gets a start over Seng, but I doubt it. So they come across to the front straight, all formed up nicely. We're about to take the green here. We wait. We still wait. Now we're green and we are racing here. It's going to be probably a really skittish turn one. Sanger's got the lead. He's pulled out a pretty good gap over Sweet. Jake P there in third has got Samuel right beside him, and they're nearly 3 wide in the back there. To turn one they come. Samuel sends it to the inside. He's going to get P2. Might get Sang here around the outside. Doesn't get it. Sweet will get him back. And Raw clean so far through turn one. No one has spun. No one's hit anyone yet. And up to the front. Oh no! Sang is Sweet. And that's called a big pole up there. That's at least 4 or 5 cars, and that's got to be a safety car. And it is too. They all slow down. Oh my god, if that's a twist in the championship you want, you got it just right there. That was Sang and Sweet getting together, and I wonder who started it, because Sang was absolutely sideways across the front of the field there.
Yeah, could have it been that maybe just got a little bit twitchy on one of those little bits of puddles that we've seen that was still on the track, the wet surface there, but obviously we'll wait to see a replay, but big incident there to start this penultimate round. Here we go.
I would say he got helpy. Yeah, he did too. So that's going to be a penalty for Sweet. And 4 cars got through before everyone else got in there.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow.
Oh, and the Lexus is around as well of Lucas Keys.
And I think if JP wanted a round for him to get good points here. Oh, and they've hit on the safety car. And that was Bushel into Sweet as well, so oh my god.
Gee whiz.
But I was about to say, you know, I heard JP, he was talking about how he wanted a round where Sang had a bad round, and I think we've just found it, and he can thank Sweet for it too.
Here we go. Bang.
What a view that is. You can see all the drama.
That's about 6, 7, 8 cars. A few of them had nowhere to go. Other people probably could have broke for the wreck, but oh my god. And I got a feeling they're either going to go one more lap here or they're going to restart this lap. We'll see how they go.
Now they're going to struggling around the outside.
Oh no, they're going. All right, we're back underway again.
Bartlett is absolutely limping that McLaren back around. I can well and truly imagine that he will be pulling into the pits, as there is at least another 3 or 4 cars already pulling into pits. We've got 4, 5, 6.
And that's Sang's one of them too, so he's going to lose a lot of time here from that. He's going to have at least probably 20, 30 seconds of damage from that hit. And here's the replay here of Bushel realising that the cars are solid under the safety car. They aren't see-through. Sweet easy pass around Bukovic. Maybe not. He goes deep. Sweet does the over under
Super
and
deep.
see you later. That was a nice clean over under, but at the front, Samuel leads, JP leads Luke Johnson. So that's a weird top 3 compared to what we had before. So now, interesting part here too is that we've got people who are still in the pits. One is rolling, 2, probably a couple are rolling. I wonder if Sang will roll with them too.
Yeah, he'd be there for a little bit for repairs, I'd imagine too, because he got hit about 2 or 3 times, so depending on how bad they were a side impact, so on the couple, so we're looking at Corey.
Sang's still in there, so he's fixing all that damage, so
Yep. He would playing pinball with Sang's BMW, I would say, has definitely fared him a couple of minutes to try and work out the best plan of attack for the rest of the race, I'd say, sitting in the pits there.
So probably going a lap down as well, so he's
Yep,
got a
we'll
lot
see.
of work.
And there he is. There's 2 of them there now that are still in the pits, as we see the fly over there from camera 2, which is a great
Shady's
angle.
gone wide. Shady just went wide through turn 1 there. And now's going to give JP an opportunity. He got the fastest lap there before. So this could give JP an opportunity to get the lead here and run away with it.
Yeah, the races have been eluding him, hasn't it, JP? He's had the pace. He got tangled up at Monza. Very unlucky quite a few times too, JP. He's shown a lot of pace throughout this season, and maybe this round, hopefully, we may see him out in front in this McLaren. But Shady's going to make it hard.
We've got Bukovic off 2 at turn 4, but he keeps going. So I wonder if
Just a
something happens
reminder
with him.
for some of the late guys into the championship too, there is a worse round drop round, I believe, so this might not hurt so much for Sang.
Yeah, there will be drop round. So here's the replay with Bukovic and
Oh! Yep, that was coming in way too hot. Can't do that on a damn track.
The sender from Kyle Larby has come back, and he's come back strong in the wet right there. Sorry, Carl, but it had to be said.
Yeah, but that's that race there. If you can rewatch the race at Kyalami, that was some action with the Johnson & Johnson crew. There was a lot of sends and a lot of action, so it's worth a replay, that race, that's for sure. A nice little battle pack in camera 2 as well for the positions behind 1 and 2. So this is positioned, I think, from 5, 6, 7, something like that.
I was going to say big battle pack, then we had about 2 cars just come into pit there, so the track is still greasy, but I'm going to say it's going to take at least probably 10 minutes to get it to a green state, just with how this game deals with temperature and the track drying up. So
Big bag Mike Reel in the Nissan on camera 1, holding off the cars behind, just in 11th position. The cars probably would be up a bit with the cars pitting actually once the delta changes in the first sector.
and on camera 2, as we go back to camera 2, we've got a battle here for P4. We've got Vidi in the BMW, Bushell in the Ferrari, and Carl Johnson in the McLaren. He's still got his wiper on. It stopped raining, mate. Don't need it on at the moment.
Getting a little bit of spray though, mate.
Yeah,
spray,
a little bit of spray, yeah, but it wouldn't be as strong now with the track being greasing anyways.
Yeah,
Actually, we've got a battle for the lead here. I just see that Sonicus, JP's got the lead off Shady. I'd love a camera on that, maybe a replay, because I think he's probably sent them into the hairpin to get that, which I think could prove the fact that JP is actually on wets instead of dries. Go back to the battle here with for P4, and we've actually got a big pack for P7 behind them as well. Looks like at least 6 or 7 cars there, but
How's the positions that Vinny's made up? You know, I think he started all the way down around 17th.
He was.
there we go. Shady went a bit wide, probably missed his brake marker, and then probably the dry tyres versus wet tyre option here. just round the outside. A bit of a contact there, mid-corner. But it won't care because JP's going to somehow just out-drag him and then deep under the brakes. And that was what the battle was. And he's now got a streak away from Shady, hopefully. And see the three we were just focused on have all come into the pits at the exact same time. Same with JP, he's in 2. So
Yeah,
he's probably changing to dries.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you've probably got it that they've started maybe on the wet. And you can see the dry part of the circuit now, especially when the sun's now come out. So it's probably the right time to pit to get off any of those wet tyres that guys who have maybe started on wets.
Actually, Sweet's got ahead of Samuel now here. He has 2. Wow, what? Shady must have had something wrong with his pressures if he's losing a lot of time here.
Or is it just that the wet tyres are overheating now, Mia?
No, I'd probably say Shady.
Oh, here's a replay.
I'd probably say Shady was on the dries, but probably didn't have him pressured up enough, or he just didn't have the confidence in the wet. You can see he goes deep there.
Yeah.
Went deep 2 corners in a row, and there you go. Sweet just drives on by.
Yep, I think you got it, hit it on the head there, Mia. I reckon the pressures would definitely be not helping him at all there. I reckon he'd definitely be struggling to try and get some good balance as he comes in very, very late and very hard. Yep, that's one way to end
an
it.
aggressive pit lane entry, isn't it?
Yeah, so you've got to come in very, very tight on that that last right-hander and try and maintain a bit of momentum and keep out of the way of anyone behind you.
But will that wet track also maybe catch a few people out in pit lane? As this track is now dry and they'll get that extra grip. But when they hit pit lane, it looks like that's still wet there, so they can navigate through that right-hand corner. I see some cars drifting off towards the wall there if they're not careful.
Well, and especially there being paint sort of on that preferred line through pit entry, so it might catch some more people out as Keys goes for a beautiful move on parking through turn 2 and 3. Will grab P7, and speaking of pit lane, Mr. Shady Samuels in the pits. We've got Cameron Radu there focused on JP, but I think he's gonna get the lead at this point. He's gonna get the provisional lead at this point because unless Shady's gonna come out, and he will come out behind both Sonicus and Johnson. This battle
back, actually.
P6.
A little bit pressured under brakes there and making himself very, very vulnerable there, Keys. Very vulnerable, but somehow managed to hold off parking there. So you can definitely start to see that that dry line coming in there now. And looking at the that forecast,
and there it is.
Crazy.
And there it is. Mr. Sweet has got a 15-second penalty for that luck one incident we're saying. So, that will definitely give JP the lead now, and I think he'll be loving it because Sagan's going to have an off day, and JP is going to have an amazing day. But as I say that, I'll look at the scoreboard, and Sang has cleared all of his stops. But he's lost a lap because of having to fix the damage, so he's just realised, you know what, we'll just throw caution in the wind, we'll take all the stops now and then we'll just push all the way through to the end of the race.
That's going to be interesting to see how that pans out in the next 48 minutes. We'll see some quality driving, I think, by Sang, so it'll be entertaining seeing some of the passing as he goes through this field, so I'm sure we're going to be entertained, but right up to the end of this race. Boscovich is doing a great job in this Ferrari, putting a lot of pressure on Mike in front in that Nissan. I love how Mike's driving in the Nissan in this series. I love the livery, and he's been steering that car fairly well.
I think all of the Nissan drivers in this season have been doing pretty well. I think it helps as well that the cars being gifted an absolute god gift from Kunos for its bop. So, you know, if you're in a Nissan, you're not going to be dead last on the field like you usually would be. So, I think all the tracks this season have basically showed off how good the Nissan can be over a season. You know, you won't be winning races, you'll be probably mid-pack, maybe a win here or two if you're lucky, as sort of demonstrated by Reynolds earlier tonight. Oh, he just has lost the rear there on entry to the first part of the chicane.
He was able to hold on to that. That was close.
I think he sort of tried to show off that a commentator's curse can happen in split red too, and he nearly lost the car on entry. So,
Well, he definitely won't lose the drag down the front straight, I'll tell you that.
No, he wins all medals for that one, doesn't he, Brad? It's a
Yep.
very quick car, the Nissan.
Might not do quite so well in the quick little left rights, but he's... Oh, there we go. There's that replay of the old Nissan Tokyo drifting.
Yeah, great job.
Very well saved, that one. He's, yes, I reckon a couple of little bits of drops of sweat coming off the brow after that one, just before you come onto that front straight.
I think so. He'll be asking for a paper towel during the pit stop, that's for sure.
Yes. And Buskeva's definitely keeping the pressure on him though, as we start to come through. And who have we got? So we've got JP, Johnson, and then Samuel, Shady Samuel, who has pulled out the fastest lap. You know,
Run here.
top 10. Oh, is he gonna? It's well and truly holding a straight line there was Mike Reel, and Buskeva's just overcooking the brakes a little bit there, and just gave away what a great opportunity that was opening up to him there against Reel.
I think these guys are slowing each other down though, are they, fellas? Because it looks like Keys is slowly reeling them in. Sorry about that joke there, Mike, but I think they are. I think they're slowly reeling them in.
no, I would say so. And as we say that, Booker just realises the fact and comes into pit and tries to do the undercut on Reel.
So there's something going on about an off-track overtake there in the chat. I think Mia's already onto it. We're not too sure what they're talking about an off-track overtake, but it's been some pretty intense racing already.
Yeah, it would be great if they gave us a lap number at a corner, because we probably missed it. We're being too busy trying to commentate a race. We've apparently missed something that the chat's been controversial about, so we'll get back to you once we grab some footage of it.
Here we've got the race start.
What about something I would believe with JP?
He's going a little bit wide there.
I'm going to say this right now. That's not controversial. He was bumped off the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely looked like he was bumped.
Yeah.
There's a little bump that put him out that way, but yeah, I think that's fair game.
It's, yeah, you know, probably thinking about it more. It's more 50-50, you know, because, you know, Shady could have followed him out, but the thing is, then you're forcing the car off the track, so you keep him space. But because of the bump, it's forced JP off the track. So, but yeah, it's that. I hope Shady put that to the stewards, because I think we're not qualified enough at the moment to have a look at that and try and give a penalty or not. But at the moment, it doesn't matter because JP is 5 seconds ahead of Shady. So.
And here's Robin Herbert. I'm not too sure if we've seen too much of this livery of this car throughout the series, but it's quite striking, that's for sure.
I think this is probably a new livery to him for this round.
So they can change the liveries during the round, obviously, by the sounds of that.
Yeah, probably not during a round, but more that between rounds you can change.
Between rounds, sorry. Yeah, not going to come in the pit, sorry, and just change the livery. Sorry about that.
You know, if you could do an Audi Le Mans where you can change the gearbox within 5 minutes, I think you could probably do really well with that. JD Samuel has just taken the fastest lap of the race from Corey Sweet.
So well done to our race director, finding that replay of where everyone was talking in that chat, and obviously the Valiant Knight, he reckons it's play on as well. I think he's agreeing with the commentators, but obviously the stewards may have something to say about it, but we'll wait and see. But I think I'd like to see that one just be fair play, actually. As we said, there was a little bit of a bump, side bump that drifted JP a little bit wide.
Yeah. It's very much that, you know, if JP went a mile off the track and then come back, you know, I could see why, but he was basically forced into that situation, and then went for it. But, you know, if you want to say it's an overtake on off track, did he overtake while he was off the track? So, but, you know, that was in the past. Doesn't matter now because he is ahead of Shady Samuel, and he's pulling away anyway. So.
We're just having a look at the pit entry there that we had just in the bottom part of the screen there. That was pretty wild.
I think that was the Audi that just got a 5-second penalty for something. So.
Yeah, causing a collision. I think it was shown. Whoa!
Oh, yeah, he got the bump there and probably decided to keep the flat to the floor.
At least we thought Mike had white knuckles earlier, and I think he had some white knuckles in the pit lanes then. The Audi driver. Maybe like a bit of a stain as well.
What's the is it the old school American cars that have all the airbags that jump up and down? it's like yeah, he's got one of those put in the back of his car.
He just needs the speakers going as well and moving the car with the speed to the top.
Honestly, that just looked like typical Audi seat there. Look at that. Just,
yeah. Unfortunate. Can't see that.
It can't deal. It can't deal with a bump to save its own life, and I think that just showed it.
Showed it. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go.
You're exactly right there, Brad. It just sounds like he's got the actuators going and the suspension moving. So, hey, I'm getting a little bit hungry for some ice cream for dessert as the guys are all commenting in the stream. So keep it up, guys. Keep the funness going while you're enjoying. We've got 39 minutes. We only just touched the start of the race here.
Oh, that's it. We're only. This is when most people will be starting to. Whoa! His keys gets a little bit loose there in the Lexus. Coming out of turn 4.
Update on fastest lap watch. Mr. Sang has just got the fastest lap of everyone else, so that's not surprising. But it'd be surprising to see where he will finish. I don't think he'll finish up that high because he's a lap off the car ahead of him, so he's lost a lot of time in that repairing earlier tonight, or earlier in this race. I mean, so.
What do you think, guys? Do you reckon maybe a nudge a top 12? Is that a possibility?
No, well, if he's a lap behind the car in front of him, he's probably not going to go that far up. Shady Samuel takes that fastest lap away from him, but I did see that Sang was up on his time, so... And speaking of, track is going to fast, so we're going to have some pretty quick laps coming in now.
As Shady Samuel has taken the fastest lap back off Sang there too. It will be interesting, although Sang's 2 laps down, if you look, the top 3 still have not pitted. So he may, seeing though he has done both of his pit stops, he may end up at least, I don't know whether he might probably not quite make it back onto the lead lap, but there's half a chance, depending on how everything kind of leapfrogs, he may end up on that the back end of the lead lap if he keeps up the speeds. As there he goes again, saying toing and froing there with Samuel with the fastest lap. Yeah, be interesting to see if he can actually make it back to the main lap.
Well, as much as the fastest lap is concerned, you know, he'll probably still have it, but I don't think he's got enough pace over, you know, the likes of the Sonicus, you know, Luke Johnson ahead, because of the fact that, you know, we're talking tenths of a second, not seconds. So, yeah, he'll probably be about 2 laps out. He might get a lap back from them pitting, But he won't, I would say he wouldn't get probably as far as maybe 20th, maybe 18th, you know, so.
Yeah.
Tough competition out there. You're right about that, as Lucas is having a move on this out. He's got to run down the inside, but will we clear him here? Long way around the outside here.
It is a long way around. Oh.
Nice driving, almost a touch, but look at the Ferrari just behind.
Oh, that was.
Oh, that's not
Even
when
I
you
would have done that,
overtake.
but he's still gonna do it.
He's made it stick. Oh,
You know,
wow.
I think Walsh saw that, said, you know what, you can have the keys to that position, and
Yeah.
pull
I tell you
away.
what, Split Red's all about overtaking tonight. We've had plenty of it.
So much action, and he's not going to give up quick. Not going to give up too easily. Walsh is, although he's getting quite the push on there from Bushkovas behind him, he's definitely. Oh, they ain't saying that, how much of a pull that Keys has just made there as well. Oh no, Bushkovas is going to go up the inside at turn 4 as well, but he's going to be on the outside for turn 5. Is he going to be able to make it stick?
That Porsche right up into it as well.
No, he doesn't make it stick, but yes, that definitely brings Palmer into the game here. A great little battle this is between these two.
Yeah, I think Walsh is just sort of starting to lose pace here because of how dry the track has gotten to. Probably had a bit pace up because of how wet it was, but now because it's basically dry now, he hasn't got that pace difference between the people that are near him. So at the moment he's got Vukovic to worry about, and now he's got Palmer behind them as well. So it's another 3-car trade, this time with a new protagonist of Mr. Palmer.
What a great view that was on the back of Walsh's Audi as well. We saw the 2 cars behind him attacking. Great visuals. And all this couldn't be done without the help of also Simrigs offering all their support. Make sure
Here we go for the overtake replay.
Yeah, you can just see that I think Keys was a bit fed up and decided to attack in his most vulnerable spot where he probably knew that he'd have to let him go to play it on, and that's what he did. You know, fair play to Keys, he sort of went really aggressive, and then had Walsh decided not to give it up, it would have been a bit of a calamity. As you can see in front of Keys, Real has come out, but he's got to stop go 30, so that's not going to help his race at all.
Yeah.
That might be a position that Sang may get from Real. That's 32nd by the time the end of this race. We'll wait and see what happens.
Here they're on camera too. They've got a battle for P11 between Kong and Rochford, and then they've got the crowd's favourite coloured car in front of them of Benedict.
Right, Kong was partnered with Sang in the first round of the Geo Series, was it, at Watkins Glen? They took victory a couple of weeks back.
Oh, I don't remember.
And then we also got that happening this Saturday, round 2 at Indianapolis for the Geo Series as well, so it should be exciting.
Yep, that'd be a great one to watch.
Be a great one to participate too if people are free.
That's not the line there, Walsh. That's going to give.
It's exposed him there.
Yep, it's going to give the invitation to Bukovic to have a go at it. And I wonder if Palmer's got the straight line to follow Bukovic here, but Walsh has actually got it down the straight. I think Bukovic lifted on the corner there. And now it's going to be 3 cars all a little pack into turn 1. Sort each other out, maybe. Walsh goes a bit wide there. Bukovic's going to get the nose in. Or not, because Palmer's now got the nose in there too. Through turn 3. I think Bukovic is going to get it. Yes, he will. And then Walsh is going to try and cover Palmer. He won't, 'cause he's too far back. There you go. Boogamus has now got P15 after about 3 laps of praying and hoping for Walsh to make a mistake. He finally did.
Yeah, that battle's starting to get very tasty on camera too as well. For position 11, I mean position 10, I think it is. Bendich just in front. And what's the Thursday night without Bendich and the spandex Lamborghini? Nothing better than the fluoro colours of Bendich's Lambo.
And on camera 1, we've got a battle going on for provisional P2. Luke Johnson and Corey Sweet, sorry. No, actually, no, that's not. Wait, oh yeah, Shady, sorry. Wrong Ferrari. So, interesting here, because it's probably going to split up the McLaren 1-2. I will say, Luke's doing very well. You know, his first race as a pro driver at Paul Ricard didn't go to his liking. He probably had the worst race ever in OR, but tonight he's provisional P2 at the moment with Shady Samuel on his rear end. So maybe he was destined this entire time to become a pro driver instead of staying in silver. As oh no, I think oh no, sorry, Mike Rule still has a stop go 30. I thought he just got it back, but he still has it. So don't mind me.
So we've got obviously some guys loving the obviously the fluoro life here on a Thursday night as well. So how good is that? As well, we've got also Thistleway in the Nissan.
We are at the halfway mark. Still a way to
And again, oh, that's a late call there for Shady to get in the pits. Something here from Luke Keys, he missed his.
That was a long way off.
He absolutely missed his pit marker there, and went at least nearly a car length in front of it.
And that is going to cost him a lot too. That's a good 3 or 4 seconds at least. Having to reset yourself in your pit box.
So now,
in the chat there, I think I'm just giving you a heads up. I think next week you might need some sunglasses because there's a couple of guys out there that's going to try and blind you with some of the bright colours and some deliveries. So just be wary of that.
well, why do you think I run a pink livery?
Well, they're probably joining me as well. I didn't realise that you already had one going.
Well, if that's the case, I'll have to make it more pink.
There you go, camera 2 guys. Just enjoy that. The spandex.
Go to spandex.
On a Thursday. But on board Brian here, Brian Kong doing a really good job keeping it nice and smooth in this McLaren. Obviously fighting to see if he can get up this order a little bit further. He's obviously got to try and get in front of this Lambo and see if he can then get onto the back of Vinny in the BMW. There's still plenty of time in this race, so anything's possible.
Yeah, Vinny's doing an amazing job this round of BMW. He's usually been around, under the top 10, but at the moment he's got into P6, probably P5, P4 after, probably a bit lower down the top 10, I'd say, after everything's shaken out, but he's doing very well. And speaking of shaking out, JP has come in right now.
But don't forget though, the guys in front of him have got those 15-second penalties, so Vinny's up for a really good showing by the end of this race. He's probably going to find himself battling these guys once they get through their 15-second penalty, so we'll see how it goes once they get this next round of pit stops sorted. But Vinny's obviously the man that's come right from the back. I think I said it earlier, I think he qualified 16th for this race, somewhere around there. Porsche comes in for his stop of Palmer.
And there's saying he's still 22nd, but he's only 6 seconds back from the next car in front of him. So, you got to remember too, he's done all of his stops compared to the other people, so he could probably gain a position or two once all the stops are shaken out. But I think in the next probably 10 minutes, I'd say we're going to see a flurry of pit stops happening, just because of the fact that people probably did their first stop early and then put about 20 minutes of fuel in, as probably their strategy would have been, or people have taken a longer stint in the second one as well, still loose at the end of the exit, just so they can have a shorter second stint or shorter final stint at the end of the race.
Walsh got all the bouncing out of the way of this Audi. He's been bouncing around all part of this race, his first part of this race. Cost him a bit of time.
Oh, does he hold it?
Replay.
Oh, he does. He does.
That's a good way to get some screen time, isn't it, guys? Just get a takeout drift in. Love. We all love to see the handling of the car on board, seeing the drivers at work.
As we just came off that replay, Singh has gone to 21st place, but you can see there he's still basically a full lap, nearly a full lap off. Actually, no, I could be wrong. Where is Keith? He's already going through turn 4, so he's probably half a lap back. But here we go, we've got another flurry. We've got the flurry pit stops happening now. Luke Johnson, Carl Johnson, and Bushell are in.
That puts Vinny up into a good position. Yet to pit as well, though.
And I don't think Luke was going to get that lead off JP, but now Shady's 2.6 back from JP, so this race has now become a 2-horse race between the two that probably weren't looking like they were going to win this race until Corey Sweet decided to have a little bit of a contact with Singh on the first lap and basically turn the script upside down for the leading of this race.
Yeah, currently with the fastest lap as well, Corey. So he's obviously motoring around fairly quickly here. And Corey did have a 15-second penalty, didn't he? Or something? Didn't he have something?
Yeah, 15-second, and he would have taken that in his first stop. So
is he predicting him to be in front of Sonicus in the car 44 by the time he pits, or is he going to come in behind him?
I would probably say, best guess, I'd probably say he's going to come in. He's going to come out behind. I'd say around where the Johnsons are, so either behind or in front of Carl Johnson.
Right. Okay.
As I say that, Rochford has actually jumped ahead of Carl Johnson, so it could be that Rochford is that car where he'll have to come out with, as we see Kong has now come to the pits to serve his last stop. Here on board with Rochford with the rear camera view. This is a battle for position, but it won't be a battle that will matter at the end of the race, because Real has still got to do his stop, whereas Rochford has done all of them.
I'm just looking at that too. Bartlett in 13th position. If that's correct, he's still yet to do his 2 pit stops, so he's got very long.
I would say that reminds. I think it's Paul Krenich off memory in the Wednesday night splits. He loves to in a 2-stop race or even a 1-stop race, take it all the way to the end. He's done it. I think every single race I've seen him in, he's always done it. So probably Bartlett taking a page out of that book. We go to JP here. Bit too much curve on the inside there.
I call that disco corner, I reckon.
Yes.
There's Kong. He's come out behind Rochford and Real, and he's probably going to come out behind Carl as well.
I was going to say that, yes.
Replay.
Oh, there he is. Yep.
He had a perfect amount on the first part, the second amount just a bit too much.
There's Corey. We'll find out where he's going to filter into this field behind us. He's in the pits now to the leader of the race. Just on his marks now. As Vinny looks like he's going to stay out, so he's going to take lead of this race. So I have the BMW up leading the race, but it's not the BMW of Sang.
Probably a BMW, you wouldn't think would be up there, but and there you go. Everyone else behind Vinny is coming to pit as well. Yeah, JP's got a bit of lap traffic in front of him. Sweet is still. Oh, that was a bit dicey there. Sweet still in the, he's going to drop down, but he's going to lose. So there goes first. There goes second, and I think he's going to actually come out in third here. He will too.
But the chase is on.
So great job there from Sweet. So this is it. They've all done their stops, and they're basically separated by probably about 6-7 seconds here. So probably a little bit more.
Yes, you don't want to leave if you're just tuning in here. We've obviously got Corey Sweet just coming out of the pits in third position effectively. With Sonicus leading over Shady Samuel, but there's nothing in it between these guys as the tyres will come back up to pressure for Corey, and we'll see if the fastest man on the circuit can catch JP before the end of the race. Comes Alex for all his compulsory stops done.
Yep, not too many left now. Still to pit, only 5 there by the look of it. Of which Bartlett looks like he's in for his second one there as well. So down to 4 only that are still to pit.
I think Bartlett's taking his first stop actually, to be honest. I think that's the driver who commented before. But,
yes.
Hit it yet.
He must be in there. He's up in the pits now, so he's taking his first one with 20 minutes to go.
As we've got a nice little lane road battle between Bennett and Rochford here. Geez, they're quite 2 different cars, aren't they, with those 2 liveries there?
Yeah.
We've got one trying to base itself off Rexy, and the second one is an in-game livery where they thought, you know what, we'll make it all the bright colours, and we won't care how good it looks. But at the moment, this is for the battle for P8 or P9. Sorry, I think this will be a battle for what's that, P5, maybe 6.
Yep.
If they're lucky.
And the angry teeth there of Rochford.
As we see, Vinny now comes into the pits. Beautiful entry.
And just on the other BMW, seeing now in the 20, it looks like he's only about 5 seconds off from Herbert in that McLaren that we were commenting before that seemed to be a new livery for this round. So it wouldn't be too long, you would think, just before Sang will be up into that 19th position and then chasing down Lucas Keys in a Lexus.
Yeah, well, Keys is about 15-20 seconds ahead of, or probably even more ahead of Sang. So
okay.
there you go, 31 seconds between Keys and Herbert. So
yeah, it's a long way to make up, I guess. But Sang won't stop trying. He'll try and see if he can keep eating away. Now this is getting very, very tight here for the 9th spot. A couple of guys to try and get into the top 10 here as Vinny is still in pit lane. Stationary on the left hand side there. And just rolling now. So he's just coming out. I think Carl Johnson, I think it is in 10th position. Will be wanting to see if he can clear these 2. I think he may have the pace on the 2 in front of him, but it's obviously trying to overtake. He's is going to be the hard part for him. These two battling fairly hard.
Yes, because you want to be aggressive, but you can't get too aggressive because you'll end up with a nice big McLaren in your spot. And if you don't like one McLaren, there's one behind him as well. So a couple of Lambos, a couple of McLarens. Very hard to be aggressively defensive at the same time. So kind of a oxymoron with both sides of the coin in the same statement there. So it's very hard to try and keep pushing without getting overtaken yourself.
Yeah, exactly. A little slip up though from any of these two Lambos, and we will see that McLaren filter straight through without a second invitation. He won't need it. We've seen Johnson with his big sends that he's been famous for, so you know, if he can have that opportunity, he may take a dive in there, become the meat of the Lambo sandwich.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's got to be a bit closer than where he is now, and I think he's been pulled away from the Lambo.
It hasn't stopped him before. We've seen plenty of those moves from a far way back, and by now he's had plenty of practice, so he's gets a little bit loose on power, and he's now a little bit vulnerable with Kong.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's probably realised that setting at turn one's not a great idea because of the fact that it's switched back, but, you know, I think the stewards have talked to him, be like, hey, look, if you're going to do sends like that and hit someone, you're going to get a bigger penalty, and at the moment he is listening. But from that one send in the wet, you see, yeah, he just lost the rear, just touching the AstroTurf from the exit of turn 2. Which is pretty easy to do. And on the minimap there, we've got Parkin who's coming in for his final stop. So that'll cycle Sonicus and Samuel to the lead.
I think Sonicus isn't he in front, is that right? And Samuel just behind him, not too far away.
Yes, has just
under a second now. So he's closed that gap up pretty quickly.
And this is all that I think Corey Sweet wants to see as well, doesn't he? He wants to see Shady up there battling JP and try and slow those guys down so he can slowly get that 4-second deficit he's got between them and the leaders. With 14 minutes remaining, this is going to be almost a 3-way battle
there
for the lead by the time this finishes.
Yeah,
right there, Rochford just lost that.
I don't think Sweet's got the pace over the two in front to catch. Unlike Samuel, as Kong goes for a move on the inside.
Oh, not quite. Double switchback, maybe?
I don't think so.
They do call this split blood for a reason.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was just watching that as Rochford just coming out that last corner. I don't think he hit that little sausage on the inside, but you can really tell that he ran quite wide. So I wonder whether or not he ended up having to just kind of back off just a little bit to either save himself from a track limit or keep himself on the track there, which I think is what ended up really being able to let Johnson through at that point there for that overtake.
And now back to the front. Sweet has pulled in that gap, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think he's pulling it in quick enough to catch up. So.
Be quite hard to pull in 4 seconds with just under 13 minutes left to go. Fortunately though, Sweet not really having any pressure around him as well. Of course, it is a bit of a gap back then to Johnson and then Vinny as well, which, as we were talking about there before, you know, that's a little bit wide there from Thistlethwaite, getting well and truly bit of a tickle up there from Palmer. But looking at Vinny, you know, he's P5 after that, looking from that provisional pole while he was going in for his last pit stop. He's managed to come out in P5, which is a great effort from him.
The thing is that he's got a bit of a queue of cars behind him. It's what's that, about 5-6 cars behind him. So it ain't over for Vinny yet to keep that top 5.
No.
But he's got some pretty stiff competition behind. So, and as I say, then he goes a bit wide out of 4, inside of 5. He's got Bendich there. He goes wide too. You see the queue of 4 that we were looking at earlier have now caught up to Vinny. And they're sort of trading a bit of paint there. Now Carl's going to have a look at this battle with Bendich.
Great little battle for the great experience for Vinny being in the Pro-Am compared to these couple of silvers behind him, really putting the pressure on.
Yeah, boy, these two are battling, going hard. That's making life a little bit easy for Vinny. So, yeah, exactly. Very good driving for the Pro-Am up in that 5, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people supporting. Let's see if that BMW can hold on to this 5th position.
It's a queue of cars now. I think that you could probably say there's about 7 cars in that queue, even though they're a bit separated there. It's a solid queue of cars you can sort of have a look at and go, they could all have a go at Vinny here in the last 10 minutes. But back on a note about the lead, JP has pulled ahead a bit of Shady, and Sweet has caught a bit up to Shady as well. So it might be not over yet for P2 either. So see, Carl had a really close look of the rear of Bendich, and he's going to probably have a send here. No, he won't. He's too far back.
And it was a little bit wide there coming out of that turn 3 sweeper too. You can see he ran super wide, trying to keep out of the track limits areas.
You can see on the leaderboard, Sweet is catching both of them now, so that gap between P1 and P2 is stabilised, but P3, Corey Sweet, he is catching. He's caught basically nearly a second in the past 2 laps, so
wow,
he's coming, and he's coming hard now, so he could probably catch him by the end of the race here.
Yeah, I definitely did not think that he would have caught up 3 seconds, but he did an absolute blinder on that last one. Sweet, absolute blinder lap.
It was actually the fastest lap of the race too, 43.1. So he's on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was the last one to pit as well between these 2 to 3 cars, I believe. So JP and Samuel had already pitted early, I think.
Yeah, Shady pitted with about 30 minutes left. JP pitted with about 25 left. Then Corey Sweet pitted, I think, about with 15 to 20 minutes left. So he's got some fresher tyres under him. Bit lighter fuel as well, so
as he's taken out another 0.1 of a second, another 10th out of the gap between him and Samuel. As we're still here, as Johnson is just throwing absolutely everything here at Bendich, everything that he can, and the more that he does that, the bigger the gap that Vinny can pull out there, as Bendich is probably doing a little bit more defense than offense. But any one of these 3, 4, 5 cars here, all you've got to do is over brake or just miss your turn in mark, and then you are eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Go to the back of the line.
Palmer is now under threat from Lucas Keys as well. So Palmer was attacking Thistleweight, and still is. But Lucas Keys is now joining them up in the battle there. We've got a move in camera one. Everything's happening.
Kong just did a beautiful send there on Rochford and will grab P8 from him. But I think that sort of first half a lap there on board with Carl, I think, demonstrated how mediocre the McLaren is here. He's got TC3 on, and he still cannot get the power out to get to the Lambo, even out of turn 3. So I think that shows you how little power this car has around here. As he goes a little bit off, and he's had an issue there. I think he probably
Oh,
got a bit loose on the curb when he couldn't see from the trees, and he's
Yeah,
lost.
I was going to say now, have a look at the bendage, I think it is now in the Lambo. Now that he hasn't got that pressure, he's now right glued on the back of Vinny. So it just tells you how much the pressure does sometimes slow the drivers down as you're keeping an eye. Oh, here we go. He's trying to come back through now.
Yeah, he's got the inside run.
He's gonna get him here, but he's got to make sure he's got the power out the corner. He's gonna defend pretty well there against Rochford. So out of the corner, there you go. He's got the position there. So he's now going to try and catch Kong 2 seconds ahead. But as mentioned earlier, Bendich is pretty much getting to the back of Vinny now because he doesn't have Johnson behind him. As Rochford is still looking for moves around Johnson in front of him. Here's a replay of what happened. He got the curb, and he got the curb. Oh, no, he had...
Yeah, the disco corner going again, fellas.
No, that was interesting.
It was like he was going for pits.
That was weird, because that looked more like something happened with the hardware or something.
Yeah.
He didn't, he didn't move the car back.
Not too sure.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
As we've got a bit of an issue with the hairpin. We've got 2-3 cars off there. I didn't see Vukovic was stopped before the start of the front straight. We've got someone stopped. I think that's Keys.
They're saying here that maybe a little bit of a screen freeze there, so you might be right, Leo.
Oh, this is... Oh!
Lucas, is it?
That was Lucas Keys. He got caught out by the crowd and then out-broke himself. And Vukovic, who just had an issue down the end of the start of the front back straight, then got collected by Lucas Keys. Wow.
Yeah. Was that also maybe something to do with the screen freeze?
Yeah.
About some massive screen freezes that guys are experiencing. So Lucas would normally.
Yeah. There's no way.
I don't think that's something. That's not Lucas Keys' style. Definitely. So. If you've ever seen his rig, as well, Lucas Keys is so he's such an immersion type of sim rig driver that I wouldn't think that would sort of lose that immersion quickly.
Alright, I'm going to have to sadly take away from these two battles on camera, and Sweet is within 2 seconds of Shady Samuel, but Shady is he's losing JP at the moment, so
yeah,
that'll be great because we could have a battle here for P2. I don't think Shady's got the pace overall over JP, so
yeah, to be losing out, I wonder if his tyres are really starting to go on him. They're now for Shady to be that far out.
Vinny, we really want to see Vinny hold on to this fifth position. He's had a great drive in this BMW, and he's had to have to make sure that he can stop these challenges that have been coming at him, especially in this late half of this second race.
Yeah, I think Sweet's going to get a bit quick here now that he's got Shady right there in front of him. He's just got a bit of more motivation to go as quick as he can.
Oh, exactly. Yes, he will.
And that gap is now under a second there with Sweet and Shady, so this is on. And we're going to have about 2 laps to go this time by. So 2 laps, 1 second, you do the math, it's on.
Yeah, it sure is. And what a drive it will be if Corey can manage to get that second spot from Shady. What did he have here? He had about a 6-second deficit when he came out of the pits to make up.
He had more about 5 seconds, but there you go. They come across the line. This will be 2 laps to go. And he is... I think that's 7/10 I see on the screen there on the line. So it is on for Sweet. He's going to get probably P2 here if he's lucky. Yeah, 7/10. We've got someone off, and I think that's Vinny. Oh no, I don't. Oh no.
113.
Is that? I know it was Walsh. Sorry. I looked like Vinny there for a second. Yeah, it was Walsh. Okay, we're good.
Very close.
The,
very close.
Is that the Audi doing the Audi things again?
Yep.
Probably.
That's the Audi going jumping style.
Here we go. Let's see if you've
Oh
got.
no, I'd say a freeze there, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can see he had the brake on and kept that application, so I'd probably say he had a screen freeze as well. So
Yeah.
a lot
What
of
are we going
screen
to do?
freezes
One more
here.
lap? You think one more lap they'll have around?
Yeah, so we'll have
Yep.
one more this time. So they've got a lap and a half here to sort it out. JP's too far ahead for Shady to catch, but Corey Sweet is within half a second now to Shady. See, there's the middle sector. Actually, Shady gained back, so this might not be as easy as what we thought with this battle.
It's a great onboard shot there too.
And if you look sort of further down there too, Seng will get 17th because Keys has got a DT for track point, so. And Sweet's going to pit. What has he done?
Out of fuel nearly. Probably didn't
Oh,
get enough
you
fuel,
must
one
be.
would think. Yeah.
No.
It'd have to be. It'd have to be.
No.
There you go. If anyone's with him.
So that's going to bring Vinny up here to a possibility of. No, I think he's a bit too far behind.
No, he's
Just
too
only
far
splashing
back
past.
here, so.
Yeah, I was only getting excited for Vinny for the BMW, but
Wow, what a shame.
But Sweet might lose that out P3 out to Johnson there though.
He
That'll be
will,
very close.
because Johnson's already going through turn 1, 2, and 3, so he's going to lose the
Yeah.
podium. But at least he'll finish 4th, which is pretty good from, you know, after that 15-second penalty. So,
Yeah.
and don't forget he'll also get 3 points for fastest lap, so a little bit extra onto his total at the end of this race.
so look at Sang as well, up into 17th position. So he's slowly been getting up those positions as some of the drivers are falling by the wayside late in this race. But we're on our final lap now. This battle for 5th position is not over yet.
As we say that, the leaders are just coming into the last section of corners here. So they're going to take the checkered flag this time by. So this is going to be the last lap for this battle for P5 to sort itself out.
Oh
Vinny
no.
goes wide. Bendix is going to have a look here, but it's going to be down the outside for turn 5. Oh, Vinny's gone deep again. Oh no, but we'll have to go back to the leaders here. JP Sonicus will win here at
Great.
Barcelona, something he needed for the championship. Shady will finish P2. Luke Johnson will finish 3rd. Great job for someone who didn't think he'd be a pro driver. But back to the battle for P5 here. Kong is now on the back of Bendix, so Bendix probably worry about defending more than attacking. Has a couple looks there, Kong, but he goes a bit deep. Oh, yeah, but now
wide.
Bendix has got the run here on Vinny.
Very few spots that you can overtake in these last few corners though. Although we have seen some very aggressive moves. And being the last lap, I think any possibility. Oh, even Kong there behind if you put it out there. And what a great effort. Well done. Held on, Vinny.
Yeah,
Great
well
job.
controlled drive by Vinny. That's awesome. Well done.
That was nearly a 3-car pile up there in the chicane. They all went
Wasn't
so
it?
deep, and then they realised, oh shit, we probably might have an accident here, but they all got it stuck. And there we go. So Sweet P4, Vinny P5, Bendix P6, Kong 7th, Carl Johnson 8th, Rochford 9th, and finishing out the top 10 will be Mark Bushell. Or might be different Mark, sorry. Well, first name, and then Palmer 11th, Parkin 12th, Thistlethwaite 13th, Kidman 14th, Walsh 15th, and then the last of our lead lap runners will be Vukovic in P16.
It's the
There we
race
go.
winner.
Well done, JP.
Probably the best. That was probably the round he wanted. You know, like I said earlier tonight, he was sort of wanting a round where he got, you know, he would get the advantage over Sang, and that's what happened. And he finally got it. So he'll win the race here. Only just under 2 seconds behind is Shady Samuel. What could have been for him? Luke Johnson, podium place, first time as a pro driver. And then P4 Corey Sweet, what could it be for him too? He probably, if he put an extra 4 litres in the car, he would have finished P2, but he'll get the fastest lap. As we can see here, Mike Reel again doing his beautiful burnouts.
Yep,
then-
the midnight burnouts.
And then silver class here, Bendix will finish with the win, Carl Johnson second, and Bushell rounding out the class podium. Pro-Am, Vinny, what a great result from him. P5 overall, wins Pro-Am. Brandon Kong nearly had P6, but he will grab second in class. And then rounding out class podium will be Rochford. And finally, we'll have Am. Only 3 drivers in this one. Herbert wins Bonholm in second, and then sadly Jensen probably had a really bad race. Probably got involved in that lap 1 wreck and decided to call it quits. He will not finish, but third in Am class.
What a way to finish the Sprint Series for the week with Split Red. That was a very entertaining race.
Yep, and
Sure was.
and a lot of strategies played out there with how wet the track was at the start. But you know, Sang, I think the big story there would be Sang getting hit by Sweet. Sweet probably wouldn't have wanted it, but it happened, and Sang sort of was the casualty from it all. He'll finish 17th, but he will probably gain some points because of the drop round format we've got here with the championship points. So I'd probably say going into the last round, we'll have a replay here of this, of basically what caused the race to go upside down. You can see here, Singh was probably a bit cautious through 3, and then Sweet just hit him, and then he was he could not do anything at all. He was facing sideways into the crowd of cars, and that was basically all he could do, was just hope.
Yeah, he got a bit of a wobble on the exit of turn 1 as well when negotiating that little left-hand kink as well, got up on the curb. But yeah, that was unfortunate there. But I think that first initial hit that hit him in the front right probably made most of that damage for him while he was in the pit for so long. But yeah, good recovery drive for him. But a round that he'll be able to obviously probably use as his drop round. Until next week, guys, we've been Split Red with Mia Rose, Brad Gosling and myself, Neil Haynes. And a big thank you also to the camera work by Ben Hignett as well. Well done, guys, and look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yep, at the new to ACC is the Red Bull Ring.
Lovely.
New and fresh and full of exciting. Everything's new. Everything's new. Times, people. What's going to be quick? What's going to be slow? Who's going to adapt? It's all there. Going to be good.
And no one knows the format yet for the round, so interesting to see what the admin decide on the format. But you know, new track, it seems to be very much like a high downforce Monza, so it's going to be overtakes galore, especially into the very, very tight turn 3 at the top of the hill.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. And looking forward to seeing you all and hearing you all there next week too.